watching Georgetown football on CanvasInsiders.com. Let's go! Go Hoyas!
Left side has the edge. Touchdown. The catch. Touchdown. And it is caught on target. Touchdown. Oh my goodness. How about that?
It's a beautiful day for football in our nation's capital as Georgetown becomes the final team to open Patriot League play against the high-powered Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Hi, football fans. I'm Jeremy Huber, joined by Emory Hunt. And Emory, of course, last time out, it was not a good day. This is a beautiful day, and a beautiful day for something you like, offense.
Offense. You got an offense in Lehigh that's explosive. You have an offense in Georgetown that could get their game going today versus a defense that has given up a lot of yards. So we should see a lot of movement of the football.
We saw, of course, last time out, it was rainy. It was kind of icky out. Wasn't the best day, but, of course, you see in front of you those beautiful conditions here at Georgetown. Again, should be a wonderful day to play some football. Of course, that last game for the Hoyas, a loss to Princeton, but some good things in the game, especially on special teams there.
Well, they started with the bang with the blocked field goal that led to a touchdown by Jelani Williamson, and the offense found its ground game earlier in the game and later on in the contest. So we saw some things from Georgetown last week that we say that they can carry over into this ball game versus Lehigh, which should be a good one. They're going to need all the offense they can get.
Of course, last time out, first game without Tim Barnes. He is out again today with the shoulder injury, and it's one of those things, kind of a tough break for him as he's hoping to get back on the field, but it has been a tough one with that busted arm.
Exactly, and he's a guy that, you know, you're a senior leader, you're at quarterback, very important position. You just hope he can get back healthy on the field and help this football team out.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our keys to the game. We start with the Lehigh Mountain Hawks.
Well, number one, you can't forget about Dom Bragalone, the outstanding tailback. Again, we know about their passing game, but their running game is outstanding. He had over 1,000 yards last season. Don't forget to run the football in this matchup. And also the A and B gap pressure versus a team that wants to run the spread. You have to attack from within. I think if they can get A and B gap pressure defensively, they could have success. And it's all about winning on first down. You talk about third down a lot, but you have to win on first down in order to make third down much more manageable. If they can do that, they could have a lot of success today.
Let's check out our players to watch for Lehigh, and we start with the guy under center, Nick Shafniski.
And I love his confidence. This is a guy at 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 71.5% completion percentage, and he throws downfield. This is not a dink and dunk offense. He's taking shots downfield. He's aggressive. He can also run. He's going to be a problem for Georgetown today.
Our next player to watch, we go to the offensive line, one of the guys that protects him in Zach Duffy.
And I'm a big fan of Zach Duffy because, again, in order to have front side protection, your right tackle has to be a boss. And you look at Duffy and what he can do at 6'5", 330. He keeps pressure out of the face of Shevniski, which is why their passing game does a great job throwing the football downfield.
Over on the defensive side of the ball, our third player to watch, and this is a guy you really like, the linebacker Colton Caslow.
6'1", 230 that can do well on both ends of defense. Rarely do you see linebackers these days that are able to stop the run like he can and also drop back in coverage like he can very well. So he's going to be an issue for Georgetown, and they're going to have to make sure they keep an eye on where he is aligned throughout the course of the game.
Speaking of the Hoyas, let's look at their keys to the game in this one, 3 of them for the Hoyas.
Time of possession is going to be key. That's your best defense against a team that has an explosive offense, keeping these guys off the field. So your offense has to be able to own the TOP. You can't have any turnovers. You also want to steal possessions away, so you have to protect the football, and also defensively creating turnovers. And finally, explosive plays on both sides. I think Georgetown has a huge opportunity offensively to create those big plays like we saw last week against Princeton when they blocked the field goal that led to a touchdown. Offensively, I think they can get their passing game going.
Let's look at our players to watch in this one for the Hoyas. We start in the backfield with Alex Vallis.
And they need Vallis to get going from the start of the game and carry them throughout. I think if they can get the ground game going, it's going to open things up on the perimeter for their passing game.
Second player to watch, it's a guy you talk about the passing game. Been a guy who's been missing the last few weeks and in a sense of not getting his catches, Matt Buckman.
And when you look at the health of the two receivers on the outside, it should open things up for Buckman, who's a tremendous player. And if they can own the middle of the field, again, on the perimeter, they should see a lot of one-on-one matchups.
Our third player to watch on the defensive side, it's a guy who had a big game last week, Jelani Williamson.
Small in package, but big-time playmaker in the passing game. We saw him last week in special teams making big plays, getting the touchdown off the blocked field goal. So, again, Williamson and how he's going to be utilized in this ball game could be a huge key for the Hoyas.
Yeah, it should be big again against a really high-powered receiving unit for Lehigh. Got some very good players there. Jelani Williamson will have to go ahead and play a pretty good game as well as the rest of the Georgetown secondary. Well, had a chance to catch up with Coach of the Hoyas before the game, Rob Scarlatta.
Today, that offense has been doing some good things. How do you go ahead and slow them down?
You know, anytime you got a team comes in winning 4 in a row, and I think they're averaging 50 points and about 600 a game, you know, you go back to basics. And we're just really worried about what we're doing. I think our defensive kids, if you watch the season so far, they've done a tremendous job executing the game plan Coach Thompson's put together, and I expect no less than that today.
A second start today for Clay Norris, obviously under much better conditions than the last time out. What are you looking for from him today?
Really just to play within himself. We told him that he's just one part of the offense, so just like an offensive lineman's got a job to do, he has the same thing. So try to keep it pretty simple for him, some of the stuff that we've been doing since early in camp, and to be honest, I think he had a really good week of practice, so I'm excited to see him play here.
Good luck today, Coach.
Thanks very much.
In addition to being a big game today, it is also a special day for Georgetown. It is their annual Friends of Jacqueline game where they bring along some kids that are part of the program and try to improve the life of quality of life of kids battling pediatric brain tumors. Again, really a wonderful program. And, of course, Emory, you know, both of us as former football players, it's a really good thing kind of let some of these kids come in and be part of a family that a football team is.
And it's great to see because, again, you see the guys, these big football players tend to really shrink down to their level of a kid and understand that, you know, like this quote, live in the moment, play in the moment, and realize, like, life is bigger than the game you're playing, and keep that perspective at the forefront of whatever you do in life.
Well, of course, the guy really at the forefront of Georgetown's efforts in the Friends of Jacqueline program, its special teams coordinator, Kevin Doherty, had a chance to talk with him before the game as well about Friends of Jacqueline.
Well, Coach Doherty, obviously a special day, Friends of Jacqueline Day here at Georgetown. Tell us a little bit about what Friends of Jacqueline is.
Well, you know, Friends of Jacqueline's a foundation that basically is all about the quality of life of kids with pediatric brain tumors. And the idea is to connect those kids to a team, to bring them to a relationship that they might not ever get. And, you know, it's a beautiful thing that, you know, for our players, we gain a lot. And for these kids, you know, they get to be part of a football team, or any team for that matter.
And I know, obviously, you're involved. You kind of spearhead the efforts here at Georgetown. How did you get involved in this?
Well, I had a relationship with Friends of Jacqueline before I got here. I was there kind of on the ground floor at the very beginning when it was grassroots. But you know, Elijah was adopted by this team prior to me getting here, but it wasn't a strong relationship. And when I was able to get here and Coach Scar took over on the program, you know, I specifically asked him, I want to do this right. And you know, so at that time we adopted two. We re-adopted Elijah, adopted Jackson, and now today we're adding another, Willie Hughes. So, you know, all three have different stories. You know, one of our guys has been cancer-free for 7 years. Elijah's, you know, still battling. The same thing with Willie. It's so young, you know, so recent with Willie. So.
Well, Coach, obviously you're doing some really good work here. I want to thank you for all the good things you're doing with Friends of Jacqueline.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you bringing it to the public's attention.
Of course, Jackson and Elijah going to be part of the coin toss along with Willie today. The three Friends of Jacqueline kids are going to, I'm sure, be thrilled with that, just having a chance to kind of be in the middle of that. You see some of the guys on the sidelines playing with some of the Georgetown players. Got to be a thrill for them.
Yeah, and nothing humbles you as a grown football player, as a big, burly guy, than a kid having fun. And this is what you like to see. And, again, you don't get a chance to see this at the pro level. This is what makes college football so special.
And, of course, Jacqueline Murphy, the one that was started for, of course, such an inspiring story with her as well. But, again, really a wonderful program. It's kind of a big atmosphere today when you have that. It's family weekend as well, plus a good Lehigh team coming in. Should be fantastic. Again, big crowd on hand today for this game, and a wonderful Lehigh team coming in. As Emory, you know, Mr. X's and O's, they really can do a lot of special things.
And they push the tempo a lot. They could speed it up to slow it down. They spread the field. They force you to defend every blade of grass. So it's going to be very fun to watch. If you haven't seen Lehigh play offense, you're in for a treat. And on the flip side, if you're Georgetown, your offense is finally healthy. You get all your receivers back at your disposal. So your passing game should see its best day that they've seen all season long.
Of course, the really everybody else for the Hoyas is healthy. The one spot that isn't, of course, is the quarterback spot. Tim Barnes out. Clay Norris, of course, makes the start. But the backup to this to Clay Norris is Brock Johnson, the freshman. And, of course, you always know if you're just one play away as the backup quarterback.
And it's all about preparation. We're going to learn a lot about the preparation if he has to go, and hopefully he doesn't. But when you're preparing as a freshman, you're hoping that eventually your number is called, that you'll be ready to go out there and compete and play.
Of course, Johnson, a freshman out of Newport Beach, California. I'm sure the coaching staff hoping that he doesn't have to get in there, but if he does, I'm sure they've got some confidence that he can do some good things out here against a Lehigh team that, as we kind of mentioned, great offense. The defense sometimes not the best. They get points. Again, that's sometimes just a factor, though, the fact that you're scoring so many points. That defense can get dog tired.
And also you look at the fact that it's up front where they get tired. Guys don't tend to rush as hard because they're trying to catch their breath from the last series because they only get maybe 1 or 2 plays on the side, but their back 7 does a good job in competing in the passing game. So that's going to be interesting to watch how this game goes as far as the ebb and flow of a game, because both offenses, I think, should be able to put up a lot of points today.
See the Hoyas onto the field and about ready for our national anthem. Of course, the Hoyas looking to go ahead and improve their record, 3-2 on the year. They've lost the last 2, but of course, no shame in those 2 losses. Quality programs in their losses the last 2 times out against Harvard and Princeton.
Exactly. 2 of the premier teams in the Ivy League that do a great job on both ends, offense and defense. And again, they showed well, and they had some issues. They had some opportunities to win, and that's all you want to see if you're a coach.
We're going to take a quick pause as we pause to listen to the national anthem. Georgetown Phantoms with a nice rendition of our national anthem as we're almost ready for football here in D.C. Georgetown and Lehigh getting ready to go. Hoyas opening up Patriot League play. We want to invite all of you that if you're watching us on the Georgetown Facebook page to head on over to campusinsiders.com to go ahead and see this game in its entirety. Again, if you are watching us on Facebook Live, head on over to campusinsiders.com to catch this game between Georgetown and Lehigh. Well, the captain's heading out, and of course the Friends of Jacqueline crew is actually going to head out first with the referee. While David Akiri and Tim Barnes will be kind of hanging back and getting a nice round of applause from the crowd as well. Pretty cool moment there.
I was about to say, this is awesome, man. You see those guys out there getting a pound from the referee.
They're going to call out both teams now. So, again, one of the things we kind of mentioned, Emory, or in talking, looking over this Hoya roster, some of those guys who did not play last week, Jethro Francois, Hugh Masterson, they're back in the lineup today in dress, and that's got to be big for the Hoyas. And you kind of wonder, was a strategic decision made a little bit last week to say, hey, you know what, let's make sure we're as healthy as possible going into Patriot League play.
Especially facing a team like Lehigh, you want to be healthy in the secondary, and you want to be able to score points. So you want your receiving core to be at its healthiest. So I think they did a good job in playing showing a little bit of gamesmanship, getting those 2 units very healthy for this ball game.
And obviously that's what it's all about, is the coin toss.
And it is a head. Georgetown wins the toss. Defer the choice to
Georgetown will win the toss and will defer, so Lehigh will start with the ball. And That should be an interesting test, Emory. You're kind of talking strength on strength here. A really good Lehigh offense versus a Georgetown defense that's pretty good, but really good inside the red zone.
Especially at every level, and that's the key. They can get pressure. Their linebackers are excellent. They have a joker, in a sense, in a guy in Javion Butler who can play multiple positions. And in the secondary, you mentioned about Jethro Francois being back healthy. So they're strong at every level, and they're going to get put to the test very early. And you're going to learn a lot about their conditioning against this Lehigh offense that loves push tempo.
So almost ready to get going here in D.C. Hoyas wearing navy blue helmets, navy blue shirts, and, of course, the white pants today. Lehigh going in all white, head to toe, with the traditional brown piping that you see from the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. You don't see a lot of brown. I think Ball State's Bowling Green wears his brown a good bit. A couple other schools, but not that many. But Lehigh wears it and wears it proudly.
I was about to say, and they wear it well because, again, it's a clean brown, clean white, and we've already talked about Georgetown's matte look with that bulldog on the side of the helmet. This is, again, we always got to make our aesthetics call of the game, but this is a great aesthetics look for both teams.
So Gatlin Casey and Mark Ray Redmond go back for Lehigh. Been pretty to kick off for the Hoyas. Of course, Casey leads the Patriot League in kickoff return average at 28.6 per game. So big play potential there for the Mountain Hawks as we are underway here on Family Weekend at Georgetown. High kick to be taken by Ray Redmond just inside his 20-yard line, looking for a seam and almost gets there. He's tripped up at the last second by Dan Yankovic.
And that's a good job right there by Yankovic, making sure he gets that guy on the ground because he had a lane to take it the distance.
Look at your starting lineups for this Lehigh Mountain Hawks team. We talked about the quarterback, of course, the running back pretty good as well.
Oh, absolutely. Don Bragalone, tremendous tailback that can take a short gain into a long one, turn into a long one. And Troy Pelletier, the outstanding receiver, should be one to watch today too.
Casey as well, good receiver there. The Hoya defense, a lot of good guys to look at there.
Leo Lockery inside. How can he slow down? The intermediate passing game will be key for Georgetown.
So Lehigh comes out in the shotgun with Shifniski in the gun. He'll look to throw to start things off. He's pressured. Gonna have to throw this one. Completes it underneath. Finds his receiver. That's Pelletier. And he ends up getting a positive game where it looked like he was running for his life.
And that was a big play defensively because I think what Lehigh does extremely well is that they challenge you to make plays in space consistently. So how well can you play perimeter defense will be huge in this game for Georgetown.
So 2nd and 3 here for the Mountain Hawks. 4 wides. They'll again throw, looking for that quick screen. They've got it. And first down yardage as the Hoyas get there, but not in time as able to complete that one to Sakaris for the first down.
And it's just good offensive play. You're playing east and west right now before you go north and south. So, again, Lehigh's offense right now is challenging the secondary and perimeter players of Georgetown to make plays in space.
Shefniski, some really good numbers over his last 3 starts. Of course, his backup, Brad Mays, had some good numbers in the one game he played when Shefniski was hurt. He'll throw this one away as he gets hit by Lockery and brought down, and that's got to be important today. If you can get some hits on him, I think you want to take him.
And good pressure, too, because here's the thing. A lot of times you'll see teams try to play Lehigh and play with a patient approach. Okay, we're going to see what they do, and we're going to wait and try to rally up, make a tackle. But at some point, you got to dictate defensively. You have to add pressure and not allow this offense to get into a groove.
So a 2nd and 10 here for the Mountain Hawks on a crystal clear day at Georgetown. Bragalone's going to take it up the middle. He'll be hit and brought down, and the Hoya defense up to the challenge that time, getting through big Brian Jefferson.
That was a good job by Brian Jefferson, getting off a block and making a tackle at or behind the line of scrimmage. Makes it 3rd and long. Now you want to see if Georgetown can dial up that pressure like we saw on 1st down to get back there and frustrate this passing game.
Talking to Andy Cohen before the game as we see the replay here.
Yeah, good job right there getting off a block, and team defense, 3 guys were right there on the ball at the point of attack.
Hoyas showing press. Long count as they'll rush 4. Looking deep down the sidelines. That'll be incomplete, and a good play there on defense by Ramon Lyons to keep Casey from making the catch.
And what I like about that, he got his head turned around at the last possible moment to find the football and knock it away. Great job, great defensive job right here by Georgetown getting off the field and forcing the punt. You see right here on the replay, a lot of time back there in the pocket, good concept. They went with the sail route down the side, but getting your head turned around at the last possible minute to knock it away.
Also looked like Casey did a good job to run him towards the sidelines. I don't know if he catches the ball, if it would be a completion. Punted away by Mish. Vallis going to let this one hit, and it's going to roll into the end zone. Takes the kind Georgetown roll, and they'll have good field position on their 20-yard line.
That was a really good punt by Mish. I like how it turned over properly. He wanted to down it or get that weird bounce right there at the goal line, but it just didn't happen for him.
Here's our starting lineups, and of course we talked about the receiving core all back and all healthy, Emory.
Buckman, Hill, Harrell all have to have huge days today for this offense to take flight.
And on the Lehigh side of things, we talked about Caslow, of course Tyler Cavanis, the good defensive end, a lot of other good players as well.
I like Donovan Harris as well. Really good cornerback they have out there on the perimeter.
So Clay Norris making his second start, and he'll hand it off to Vallis. Off right tackle, and Vallis brought down after a gain of around 3 on the play.
And this is going to be a big test for Lehigh up front. They have to prove that they can stop the run. They have to prove that they can get off the field on third down. And if you're Georgetown, you want to take this opportunity to slow this pace down and shrink this ball game and force their offense to make a lot more plays on a consistent basis.
Of course, last year's matchup, the Hoyas got down early, made a furious comeback, but couldn't end up getting it to go their way as Harrell around the end. He'll cut it up, still on his feet, and first down yardage. So the Hoyas with the young quarterback, they're going to the ground to start things off.
That good opening plays for Georgetown, getting the quarterback into a groove, keeping his offense rolling, getting a first down. Positive plays, you want to string those together, and that's how you have success as an offense.
I think Hoyas might have an extra player on the field. Well, actually, they're good. Darius in the game, Bermudez as well. Play clock still at 20. Good thing for the Hoyas is they don't huddle, so this issue here with the personnel, they finally can get set up. Let's see if Norris can get the play off with 10 seconds remaining on the play clock. Norris looking for Darius. He's got a step and just over his head, and a good play set up there, but just couldn't connect.
And you wonder if they had that inconsistency pre-snap, which caused a rush play right there. But that play was open, good route, good combination from what they did from a protection standpoint to now on the route side of it. Just have to hit those big plays when you get the opportunity.
Darius and Bermudez will leave. Again, really the top flight unit out there right now with Williams, joined by Harrell and Hill and Buckman. 2nd and 10. No score early on here in D.C. Glad you can join us here on Campus Insiders and the Patriot League Network. Vallis, off right tackle, bouncing, may get about a half a yard when it's all said and done.
On the first two plays we've seen, or the first two running plays, we've seen Georgetown try to run off tackle and try to establish the line of scrimmage, but good job by Lehigh, and that was a big question coming in. How well can they defend the run? They've done a great job on these 2 running plays so far in this game.
Got some good size up front. Kavinas and Mitchell both over the 280-pound mark. Call it 3rd and a short 10. Norris looked for the hard count there. He'll look to throw. Goes deep again for Harrell and can't hook up, and maybe had a step there as well, but unable to connect on his first 2 pass attempts today.
And he had Buckman open over the middle of the field as well. And you wonder if this is just a timing thing with the receivers, because that play had a chance if he would have threw it on a straight line. But you see right here, just a little timing issue between the young quarterback and his receivers. He had space. He also had a guy open on the outside, but you want to see that timing get together right away quickly if you're Georgetown, because you want your pass game to hit the ground running, and that way you can open up your ground game later on.
So McCollum on to punt it away. A lot of pressure from Lehigh, but he gets it off. Nice kick, going to drive Pelletier back. He's going to try and field it, gets a lucky bounce. He'll come back up the middle, be cut under as he goes down around the 20-yard line. Near disaster for Lehigh, but McCollum getting some glad handing from his teammates after a really good kick to flip the field position.
Hey, good job right there by the punt team. Now if you're Lehigh, you want to come back and think, okay, what worked on the first drive, what didn't work, and try to rectify that situation. But you see Pelletier right there return the punt. For a guy that's 6'3", 100 or 205 pounds, that speaks a lot about his footwork to be able to return punts. You have to be great footwork-wise to get back there.
Looking at some of those numbers there, Emory, what catches your eye?
51% on third down. That's insane. You can't even do that in practice when they let you move the football down the field.
Well, good for the Hoyas. They stopped him one time on third down, and now Lehigh late bringing a man on. That'll be the backup running back in Brisker. They'll fake it to him. Coming up, Shefniski showing some good moves. He's still moving, trying to get to the outside, and he'll be cut under as Williamson takes out his pins, but not until a gain of around 20.
And this is why push versus pressure is important. When you face a mobile quarterback like Shefniski, if you fly up the football field and lose gap responsibility, he's a tremendous athlete at 6'2", 225. He can burn you. See right here a couple of nifty moves in space and not afraid to take a hit too. So this is a guy that can do it on both ends.
1st and 10 for the Mountain Hawks after the big gain by the quarterback. Brisker trying to bounce to the outside. He'll be hit and brought down after a gain of 1.
And we talk about gap responsibility. You saw Javion Butler fly up and close that C gap so Bragalone couldn't bounce to the outside. So, again, it's about playing team defense, about doing your job, and guys did a great job. I'm sorry, that was Brisker on that run, but good job defensively within the front 7 by Georgetown against the run.
Give him a gain of 2 on the play as he took it out to the 40. So, a 2nd and 8. We dip under the 10-minute mark here in the first quarter. Throw and catch and near the sticks. And I'm going to give him a really good spot as Sokaris takes the catch from Shefniski and should have a first down, and he will.
And you saw the issue that Lehigh's offense puts on you as a defensive player. You saw Kislick on that play. Couldn't figure out if they were going to go to the bubble screen or if they're going to throw the stop route, and he ended up throwing the stop route. But he had time because he was trying to figure out which way they were going to go, and that's the pressure that Lehigh's offense puts on you as a defense.
Paulson, the tight end for Lehigh. 3 receivers the other way for Shafniski. Boy, has almost jumped. Shafniski, quick pass. It's out and complete. Casey will lunge forward for the first down.
Good display of arm strength right there. That was a far hash throw by Shefniski. Got it to the other side accurately to where the receiver was able to catch it and get down for a first down. The offense is moving right now for Lehigh. Good throw right there. Again, perfect to where he can catch it and turn upfield for the first down.
So many weapons for this Lehigh team. We'll get into it in a little bit on the broadcast, just the touchdowns they've already accumulated from their wide receivers. Quick pass out in the flat. Casey makes the grab, still on his feet. He's going to go. Gets hit by Butler, pushed forward, and he'll get into the end zone for another touchdown. Gatlin Casey, his 9th touchdown of the season, came in with the 2nd most in the FCS, and he adds on.
And he's a guy that was, 7 touchdowns over the last 3 games. A big physical receiver as well, 6'3", 195. And if you're David Akiri, you have to make that tackle. I think he kind of thought that he was going to get bumped down by Javion Butler, but missed tackle right here by Akiri, and you kind of slow down, and that's what a guy that's that big and physical can do when you don't wrap him up.
So Mish will come on to kick the extra point. And he boots it through, so Lehigh stopped on their first possession, but they score on their second and now have a 7-0 lead.
And that was a great play by Gatlin Casey because, again, here's a guy that knows until the whistle blows, I'm not down, I'm going to keep my legs moving, I'm going to keep running. And it shows you he spent a lot of time in the weight room. That was 3 Georgetown Hoyas that had an opportunity to bring him down, but he broke those tackles and was able to sprint down for the touchdown.
See Georgetown's stats this year, pretty even when it comes to points per game, but obviously the Hoyas a little bit on the deficiency when it comes to some of their offensive stats.
And you talk about that third down percentage, that's been a big problem. They have to make sure they find ways to sustain drives and keep the positive plays rolling and not get caught up in going for the big play and try to just sustain drives on a consistent basis, because if they can't move the football, they're going to struggle mightily throughout it, not just in this game, but for the rest of the season.
And you saw the turnovers. Hoyas have done a really good job of not turning the ball over until last week. And I think a combo, kind of the young quarterback, also the weather as well. But remember, some of those plays that they gave up turnover-wise were some top players. Hill fumbled a ball. Some of your older guys, you don't really expect that from them.
Yeah, it's about just cleaning up the little things, man. And a lot of times as a coach, you preach those things all throughout practice, but on game day, we know things just goes haywire.
So Ellsworth and Darius back. Vallis has done most of the kick return duties over the start of the season, but Darius trying to get him some more chances with that speed. This will chase Ellsworth back inside his 5. He'll come out. Had a seam for a second, and a really good special teams play to bring him down by Laquan Lambert. So Hoyas will scrimmage from around their 20-yard line.
You see a lot of starters on both special teams for the Hoyas and also for the Mountain Hawks, and that's a great thing because guys take it seriously, and they also are out there competing for 4 quarters on all 3 facets.
So Emory, this seems to me, and I don't know if you agree, but a really big drive for the Hoyas. They got to get something here as Lehigh's offense seemed like it got going that last drive.
Especially when you're flipping field position. You did a great job on the last one, but you want to see at least 3 first downs if you're Georgetown on this drive.
Of course, you saw the last meeting there. A win by Lehigh, pitch out. Vallis cuts it back and runs into the Lehigh front. Good defensive play to come up and force that one on the Lehigh end. It ends up about a 3 or 4 yard game.
It's a classic power versus speed. Vallis is more of a power guy. You don't want to kind of get him going outside. You want to get him going north and south. You got Ellsworth that can pretty much do what he wants to do on the perimeter. It'll be interesting to see how they utilize both backs in this ball game.
Evan Harvey, with that came up to force the issue, made Vallis cut it back. Bermudez now into the game, so 2 running backs, 1 flanking Norris each way. Gives on the draw, and again Vallis up the middle, and the hole closes quickly as Lehigh holds him to a gain of 1.
Yeah, Lehigh has done a solid job so far versus the run. Guys like Jimmy Mitchell, the nose guard, doing his part and occupying blockers, making those allowing those linebackers free range to the football. They run a 3-3-5, so they're going to have a lot of speed at the second level. It's up to that offensive line, defensive line, to get those to occupy those guards and allow those backers in that rover to make plays.
Big 3rd down here for the Hoyas. 3rd and 5. Need to get it out to the 30 for a first down. Lehigh jumps. Nobody snaps the ball, and now they'll throw a flag. So I don't know if someone moved from Georgetown or Lehigh. They're going to talk this one over. Again, having a long conference here, so trying to see exactly what everybody saw. Lehigh definitely jumped. The question was, were they induced? It looks like
offside.
Georgetown's way.
Defense, number 7 in the neutral zone, causing reaction by the offense.
See, that drive coach is
5-yard
crazy
penalty.
because you know there's
First down.
always 3 coaches on the sideline. The get back coach, the watch the fake coach, and the watch the ball coach. You know?
Yeah, most definitely. That is a huge skill for a defensive lineman. I know it. Don't jump off sides and give them free yardage. So Hoyas, their first down of the game. Norris is going to roll. Throws it quickly, almost picked off. That one was read like a book by Brandon Leaks.
Leaks almost had himself a touchdown on that one. That seemed like a late throw. Good concept. I like how they're getting him on the move, changing up that launch pad spot, but that football has to come out a lot quicker if you're Norris.
Of course, Norris comes into this game 23 of 45, 2 interceptions, 51% completion percentage, thrown for 151 yards. Obviously, talented recruit. Got to put it together. Vallis stacked up, and he'll be thrown down. So the running game got something going early, but the last few times Lehigh's been up to the challenge.
Yeah, Lehigh has done an outstanding job. Again, I came in expecting them to have some issues up front, trying to get off blocks and hold their own at the point, but their defensive line has really done a great job. Georgetown's offensive linemen cannot get to the second level, which is stymieing their running game.
Just that 3-man front, but a big 3-man front, as you see. Most teams that run 3 guys up front, they've got some beef and some size to take up blockers. So a 3rd and 9 here. Norris feeling some pressure. He'll run away from it. Maybe able to run for the first down. Now he pulls it down, and he'll be knocked out of bounds about 3 or 4 yards short.
Yeah, good job improvising right there by Norris and not throwing the football away. You saw Lehigh hold their water on the perimeter as far as coverage is concerned, but you want to see a better block by the tailback in the backfield. I thought Vallis missed a block right there, kind of flushed the quarterback out the pocket. You see right here, whiff on the block, kind of forced him to get outside, but good job by Norris, not panicking, keeping his eyes downfield, and just trying to get what he could on 3rd down.
So again, The Hoyas really unable to move the football. The first down coming off a penalty. So Pelletier goes back. McCollum again to punt it away. Lehigh got close on that one. Pelletier had a chance to field that. It'll take a Georgetown bounce, and the Hoyas will try to down it, but they're going to not be able to keep it out of the end zone.
Yeah, that's frustrating if you're the special teams coach, Doherty, because you got the punt you wanted. You got two guys down there to get a hand on the ball, but they just couldn't control themselves, and now Lehigh has an opportunity to start from the 20 as opposed to starting inside the 2-yard line. They've gotten close the last 2 times on those punts as well.
Yeah, it looks to me it might have been a case of Lions trying to be a little too fine. It's one of those things you kind of look at when those guys are always trying to down it on the 1. It's like, we'll take it on the 3. That's fine.
Exactly. Just down the ball, and know where you are on the field. You can't cross that goal line while you're in play touching the ball. Otherwise, it's going to be a touchback.
So Lehigh will start from their 20. See what they can do. Touchdown last time, the long catch and run by Casey. Again, rushed, and he'll throw it up for grabs, and this one's going to be picked off by Javion Butler. We're going to say he's down on the play instead. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. They blow the whistle on the play as Shevniski made a horrible mistake throwing that one up for grabs, and I guess they say in the grasp, and Rob Scarlato's not happy.
I was just about to say I hadn't heard an in the grasp call since the 90s, but at some point you have to blow that whistle quicker, but good job by Javion Butler staying alert within the play. And again, this is a big guy that could have broken that tackle. Surprised he saw a quick whistle right there by the referee. But Georgetown, positive side, they do get the sack. On the negative side, they don't get the turnover, but it's 2nd and 20 for Lehigh.
Of course, though, Lehigh with that offense, you kind of have to get some turnovers, and they'll swing this one out. And getting him out of bounds, good play there on that completion out to the outside to Sakaris, but they get half the yardage back. That's the thing against Lehigh. They get so much yardage, you almost have to force the turnovers because the stops are so hard to come by.
Exactly. When you have an offense that doesn't mind being in backed up situations like Lehigh doesn't mind to do so, it has to frustrate you as a defense because you're right. You have to get those turnovers in order to win this game.
So Shevniski now looking at a 3rd and 12. Need to take it out to the 30 for a first down. He's back to throw. He's looking deep. He'll be flushed, trying to keep the play alive, and he finds a man for a first down and more. Brought down on the big hit by Butler, but not gets the completion, and that's exactly what's going to make Rob Scarlata furious is they have the pick, and they kind of get it taken away by the referee's decision.
And you look at a great job right there by Shevniski, keeping his eyes downfield. Again, that's what guys at the next level want to see. How can you get outside the pocket? How can you find the open guy and not be afraid by pressure? And that was just a great display of that right there. Frustrating for Georgetown defense, but a good showing right now by Shevniski.
So Georgetown erases Lehigh erases the 2nd and 20, and now they may get some more free yardage.
You're an old defensive lineman, and I always wondered this,
Number 97.
how do you guys jump offside when you're right in front of the ball?
It's not something we're proud of, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things for that hard count, just that anticipation just kind of gets you a little bit. So a 1st and 5 as Jefferson jumps off sides. Niski flips his back, and Bragalone's going to take it to the left. Runs into his own man and brought down after a gain of 1.
I think both teams' defensive front 7 have done a great job against the run. I don't think any team right now, they've practiced all week. I think both teams really put a focus on stopping the run and not allowing a team to get their ground game going because both sides are doing an excellent job against each other's running attack.
Be remiss if we didn't mention that it was Christian Tate with that pressure on the play that was blown dead. And just a freshman out of Georgia, but he's a good-looking freshman already. Handoff up the middle. Bragalone is going to explode through the hole and get a 6-yard gain for the first down.
It's a good run right there. Just get north and south, nothing fancy, no frills, downhill. My guy is better than your guy in the trenches, and that ended up being a first down for him.
Of course, Lehigh, we talk about their numbers on the year. They're pretty impressive. They're third in the FCS in passing offense. That's their best number, but they've got some other good ones as well. Bragalone up the middle. Ball security first and foremost in his mind as he gets two.
That was a great job by Georgetown, because what Lehigh tried to do is get two big guys coming front side on a power play, but the end man on the line of scrimmage right there for Georgetown, number 44, did a great job in closing that C gap and forcing those linemen to bubble back in the backfield to where the back had nowhere to go.
Bragalone winning Rookie of the Year honors last year, just the second Lehigh player to do that in the long history of the Patriot League. Some real good teams in the past from Lehigh, so that's a pretty good honor. Chevnisky, quarterback draw. He's got some room, and he'll dive forward very close to the sticks. I think he comes up about a yard short.
Yeah, I spoke with Coach Cohen back at Patriot League Media Day over the summer. He talked about how they got Bragalone by simply just staying with him. A lot of schools overlooked him, and this was a guy that was on their radar for a long time and was able to sign him.
Bragalone up the middle. He's got first down yardage and has a little bit more as he gets face masked as he was going down. And I don't know if Rob Scarlato's not happy at one of his linemen or not happy at the referee, but that's going to be another 15-yard chunk.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 8, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's Leo Lockery, the middle linebacker.
Now you're starting to see those mental errors take shape in the form of penalties by Georgetown's defense. Normally a defense that does a great job not beating themselves, and right now they're beating themselves on this drive. You could clearly see the face mask right there by Lockery. Uncalled for because Tate had the tackle. There was no need for that extra oomph right there by Lockery.
So Lehigh again in scoring position, looking to add another touchdown before the end of the quarter. Boys showing pressure. They'll come out. Chevnisky kind of holding it. Man coming. He'll throw it away just in time. Still gets brought down by Novacki. And I think I can tell Emory why Chevnisky had to miss a game earlier in the season due to injury is he takes a lot of hits.
He does, and when you're playing a reckless foul like that, you're going to take a lot of hits. And good thing about Chevnisky is that he's a stocky guy, so he can take a beating. But you see Novacki coming across on the opposite side. Just got into the ball game for Tate. Fresh legs, coming off the edge, getting pressure, forcing an incomplete throw.
I know even my play clock in my head would say this is a long time. You might want to get rid of the ball. 2nd and 10. Bragalone up the middle, just finding and picking his way through for a gain of 5.
That's an area where a lot of backs I see in high school don't understand. Every play can't be a touchdown. Although it's designed to be a touchdown, you have to be able to get these small 3 and 4 and 5 yard gains because they matter. They add up.
We'll call it 3rd and 5. Need to get it down inside the 13-yard line for a first down. Chevnisky and Bragalone in the backfield. Hoyas showing pressure. Chevnisky checks the play. Hoyas coming. This will be tipped and picked off, so Butler does get his interception. He'll be hit and brought down, kind of loose with the ball. Doesn't fumble it, though. So Javion Butler says, you took one away from me, I'm going to get it back.
Exactly. That was a great heads-up play. Like we talked about last week versus Princeton, I don't care about all-conference, all-Patriot League. I think he's playing at an all-American level this year. He's made plays versus the run. He's gotten after the quarterback, and we see right here with an amazing zone blitz getting the interception.
Just a fantastic play by Javion Butler. Just kind of say to himself, hey, you don't give me the first one, I'm going to get this one. This was even more impressive play, Emory.
And a sophomore that's only 6'2", 205, listed as a linebacker, but just great heads-up awareness and hands, showing sometimes better hands than wide receivers.
And I tell you what, he was actually rushing on that play, knew he wasn't getting anywhere, put the hand up and picks it. What a play. Ellsworth into the game. He'll be hit and brought down in the backfield. So right now the Georgetown running game going nowhere as Ellsworth brought down for a big loss.
That was a great job right there by Colton Caslow. Came flying in there and making that stop. Again, the running game hasn't had success for both teams. And if you're Georgetown, you need some type of balance to help out your young quarterback.
Say a loss of 2 on the play. Norris checking over the defense as Lehigh looks like they're going to send some pressure. They do. Quick pass out and complete. That's out to McLaughlin, who's dragged out of bounds, but positive completion. I believe the first catch of the game, first completion of the game for Norris.
And a good job right there by Donovan Harris making that tackle. He's given up a lot of yards, a lot of height to that receiver.
Well, that's where I will go to the end of the first quarter. Lehigh leads Georgetown 7-0. You're watching it here on the Patriot League Network on Campus Insiders.
In the Patriot League, our playbooks look a little different. Here, we play to win on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. A competitive athletic experience with high academic standards. Today's scholar athlete, tomorrow's leaders. That's the Patriot League.
Welcome back to Georgetown. Of course, our first quarter highlights. Lehigh kind of getting after it early on. We saw the play here, Emory, a big completion to Casey and makes a big play off it.
Yeah, Harden wanted to right there. He wanted to score. Showed the heart to break those tackles and get into the end zone.
And now back to live action as Norris will be brought down, holds the ball, and he's hit and brought down as the Lehigh defense again comes up big.
Yeah, team meeting at the quarterback right there. Good job getting off the field on third down. That has been a big issue for Georgetown as far as being able to sustain drives. And we saw defense in Lehigh coming in with some questions, but they have shown well so far in this ball game.
See some of your games in progress. Some big surprises on that list, though maybe a little bit at the bottom. Holy Cross, yeah, that is a big surprise. I saw the first three. So McCollum on to punt this one away. Of course, late start here at Georgetown today, a 2 o'clock start, usually a 1 o'clocker. This one barely gets away by McCollum. Pelletier is going to go ahead as a flag goes down. He'll get to the outside. Some big blocks. Pelletier still on his feet. One man to beat. McCollum helps bring him down and a tackle on the backside. But the flag is down. The question is, who's it on?
And that flag came pretty quickly, so it looks like it's going to be a hold or a block in the back.
Cameron Seward made that play along with McCollum. But a good job by McCollum just to make sure he slowed him down and get in on that tackle. Really good run by Pelletier, where it looked like he was just going to go out of bounds and made that cutback.
I was about to say, I like the way he returns punts, because again, that is tougher for a taller guy to return punts, which says a lot about your footwork and your ability to make guys miss and your balance. But just weaving his way through, and good job by the punter making sure he didn't get into the end zone, not knowing what the penalty could possibly be.
So it looks like there's actually 2 penalties on this play. As you mentioned, there's one on the far side, Emory, that got thrown really early. Then
against Lehigh during the play. During the return, holding Lehigh, that penalty will be declined. During the kick, holding number 30, that penalty will be accepted from the end of the kick. First down.
Okay, so the Hoyas accept the better penalty for them, and this will move Lehigh way back. So in a sense, Emory, for the fact the Hoya offense hasn't got much going, the strategy working for Rob Scarlata, they've run the ball a lot, so it's taken some time off the clock and has given Lehigh less chances, and still just a 7-point game.
And you're seeing the adjustments that they are able to make because of that defensively. They've been in great position throughout the course of this game in making stops and getting off the field. One resulted in a turnover, so that's why it's important for that offense to finally start to sustain drives, because they can make even more adjustments defensively. Now, for Lehigh, you like how they've come out, they've tried to run the football. Okay, we'll scale that back, we'll try to throw. And when they stop having success, they can move on to something else. That's the sign of versatility and why I like their offense a lot. They're very multiple in how they can attack you.
So Shevniski leads them out. Brisker now into the game. as the running back. Mountain Hawks in all white today, very bright on this sunny day. Capuzzi showing pressure for the Hoyas. Shepniski looks to throw. Now he'll look to run and hit and swarmed under, and the Hoya defense getting some licks on the starter for Lehigh.
That was a great job right there by Capuzzi, getting the sack and coming around and staying with the play. And right now, the reason why that play was made, you saw great gap control up front. They didn't get past Shepniski. They got pushed and was able to collapse that pocket around him. Good job coming back around by Capuzzi and getting the sack.
Marquise Paris also, and now Shepniski tries to get up, and now he'll go down.
Yeah, he fell awkwardly on that tackle, and you hate to see their best player struggle with an ankle because, again, he had issues early on in the season, missed that game after a great performance against Yale, and he went to Brad Mays. But if you're Coach Cohen, going to Mays may not be a bad thing if he can't go because Mays is a hell of a player himself.
Yeah, Mays, really good player, put up some phenomenal numbers in that game against Colgate, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and again, Colgate coming into that game was seen as the Patriot League favorite. Lehigh beats him. So, again, not much of a step down when you're talking about Brad Mays, only a sophomore, though.
And he was a big-time recruit. Again, I was on a scouting trip at the East-West Shrine game, and I kept getting heads up about this guy you have to see. So I'll pop in the tape. I'm like, wait a minute. This guy is only being recruited by Lehigh, and I was like, this is going to be a great get for Lehigh because he's an outstanding player.
Any major changes we should be looking from Mays as opposed to Shepniski, style-wise?
Less running around and more throwing, using his arm, like we saw in that play. That's about the extent of what you're going to see from Brad Mays, those half rolls, those waggles. You won't see him take off and threaten you with his running ability, but he can threaten you at all parts of the field with his arm.
Casey unable to bring that one in, so a 3rd and long here, and you wonder, of course, that last time out, Mays had time to prep for the start. Now he's coming in cold. What can he do?
And this is where you want to dial up the pressure if you're Georgetown, try to force him to make a decision quickly.
Butler and Kislick on the ends. They'll send everybody, trying to get rid of it. He breaks loose, still on his feet. Can anyone chase him down? They can't, and Mays gets the conversion. So the Hoyas send pressure, but Mays up to the challenge on the gain of 13 yards.
And that's a good job right there by Mays. I just said you won't see him take off and run, and he takes off and runs for a first down. But they left the back door open. He slipped outside weak side and was able to pick up the first and did the smart thing in sliding and getting down and not taking a hit. Good job right there by Brad Mays.
Quick pass. Trying to cut it back inside, but guess who's there? Javion Butler to bring Knott down for a loss.
And they closed quickly on that play. That ball took a long time to get there. And while Mays may not have the rocket of an arm, you want to see that ball come out quicker and more on the flat line so that way the guy can catch it and make something happen. But credit to Georgetown perimeter defense for closing quickly and getting him down for a loss.
Again, the Hoyas making some big plays on the defensive end and just keeping themselves in this game. We've talked about how high-powered Lehigh can be. Hoyas doing a pretty good job against them so far. Mays over the middle, complete. Spun down, will be Knott for a gain of around 7 or 8 on the play.
Yeah, if you're Blaze Brown, you kind of watch that play develop. You want to react quicker, try to get in there and break that ball up. A good job by Mays. You see him showing poise, just sitting back there in the pocket, not afraid, going 1, 2, going to his third option, and before delivering the football, making this a third manageable situation.
Jethro Francois is listed as a starter today, though I don't think we've seen him out there yet. Interesting on the Hoyas' part. Mays in the shotgun with Briscoe. No pressure. Over the middle and complete. And they'll try and drag him down, eventually doing it inside the 35-yard line as Pelletier comes up big on 3rd down.
Cool as a cucumber back there in the pocket, and the reason why they can't frustrate him is because both of Lehigh's bookends, Tim O'Hara and Zach Duffy, are doing an outstanding job of keeping that pressure out of his face.
Boys have got some pressure today, but a lot of it's been via the blitz. And the Lehigh quarterbacks have been able to make them pay for it a few times. 1st and 10. Bragalone to the outside, stays on his feet. He'll be banged down, but very close to the sticks once again. And I think, Emory, one of the interesting things with Bragalone, I can see why he was a little bit lesser recruited. his style's not pretty, but it's effective.
It's effective. It's like the Alfred Morris of running backs as far as you don't understand how he's gaining yards, but next thing you look up, he has 200 yards on the ground because, again, it's slow pieces, slow bites of the apple, or small bites like he does with his ground. 5 yards here, 6 yards there, and next thing you know, he's up 120.
2nd and 2. Bragalone gets it again. He'll be hit and stopped by Apuzzi, but that second effort might get him the first down. Was hit in the hole by Apuzzi, but somehow managed to lunge for it the last second and move the sticks.
Good awareness right there by Bragalone. One thing that he does, and which a lot of running backs should do, just understand where you are on the field. Know where the sticks are, then try to run to that, and anything after that is bonus. So he's doing a great job just playing a smart game right now from the tailback position, as you would expect most tailbacks to be.
Hoyas jump. They don't float the flag and hit the tight end out in the flat trying to stretch forward. Can't do it, but still a nice gain. I believe that was Paulson on the catch for a gain of around 8.
And what we're seeing now from Lehigh, they're playing small ball, the running game, the short passing game. Before they try to they're trying to influence Georgetown to come up a little bit more so they can take that deeper shot downfield in the passing game.
The one thing the Hoyas have done, no real warp speed here for Lehigh. They're playing, not huddling, but they're taking some time off the clock. Again, Bragalone up the middle, a lot of room to run as he'll have first down yardage down near the 10-yard line.
I like that little one-man power play where they wrap that guard around, lead him in the hole. It kind of influences the defensive line to flow one way, and the back cuts right off of the lineman's butt right into the hole. He does a great job of just picking up yards for the first down.
Well, here's where the Georgetown defense has been very good this year. 2nd in the FCS in red zone defense. Let's see if they've got another answer. Fake to Bragalone over the middle, and that'll be complete for the touchdown. They go to their money man and Troy Pelletier as he brings it in. So both Lehigh receivers have touchdowns today, and the Mountain Hawks have a 2-score lead.
And you couldn't defend that any better. You can't defend the perfect pass, and that was a perfect pass. Great reception by Pelletier bringing it in for the touchdown, but Georgetown's secondary was right there on it. Got a great jump on it, nearly knocked it away, but just excellent hands right there by Pelletier. And good throw by Brad Mays.
Lyons was on the coverage as Mish is on for the extra point. He'll boot it through, and Lehigh with a 14-0 lead. And we've talked about it before. The Hoyas have had their struggles, have never beaten Lehigh as members of the Patriot League, and Mountain Hawks off to a good start today.
And an impressive start for Brad Mays, coming in on short notice and playing a calm, patient game and moving the offense downfield with a little bit of the short passing game, with the ground game, and paying off in the red zone with a touchdown against a very good red zone defense.
So interesting to see what the Hoyas do here. The one good thing for Georgetown is they do get the ball to start the second half as they defer the opening kickoff. So if you can get a score and a stop, you've got a chance to get right back into the game. The question is, where's the score going to come from?
Exactly, and if you're Georgetown, you're looking at this 9:07 left on the clock and say, hey, we have to get at least 6 minutes of this on this drive and try to find our offense with a slow-paced, ball control type drive and put points up on the board. It doesn't have to be a touchdown because you mentioned they get the ball back in the second half, but they have to get points on this drive. This is the biggest drive, I think, of the first half for Georgetown.
Not too much wind today. The flags are blowing a little bit, and as we've said before, here at Georgetown, because of the many buildings, it swirls a little bit around here. Some of the wind patterns are a little weird.
Like the old Meadowland Stadium when they open that back door.
So Mish's kick, a good one, and it's going to back Ellsworth into the end zone, and he'll go down and take the knee. So the Hoyas will start from their 25-yard line, but a flag down on the play. It's usually offsides, so let's see if Rob Scarlotta takes it at the end of the play or makes him kick it again.
And if you're Clay Norris, you have to understand you can't get all 14 points back on this one play. You know, you have to really work your way down the field, take what the defense gives you, and try to string together positive plays in a row.
It looks like
illegal
Rob
formation,
make him kick it again.
kicking team. Number 38 went behind the 5-yard restraining line. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
That's smart by Coach Scarlotta, forcing these guys that just ran down sprinted down on kickoff coverage to come back and do it again, especially when you have a guy like Ellsworth back there that only needs a small crease that could rip off a big game.
Not just him, Darius got some good speed as well. We saw in the Columbia game, first catch for a touchdown just on a straight fly pattern. So we'll see what happens here. I think also, Emory, Rob Scarlato's looking for a spark.
Exactly, and that's a good point because they need something. They have to at least try to get a big return here, or something big has to happen. They had the big defensive play by Javion Butler, and they had two actually by Javion Butler, one officially, but they need something to happen on their offense or special teams.
Well, let's see what Mish can do as he'll kick it again. This one a low kick, and this is even better.
It's a heck of a kick.
Rising to the occasion, Mish, and his defense is fired up as they come out there. Their kicker putting it exactly where he wanted to, just put everything into it.
That's a heck of a job right there.
A little issue. Butler getting tied up with Donovan Harris.
So a lot of minor physical discussions happening out there on the field.
So it's a little bit of time off the clocks. All that ends up happening on that exchange. So Norris will come out. Looking to cut into this Lehigh lead. Just over 9 minutes to go in the half. Norris finds Buckman and has to kind of double catch it. Ends up with a gain of 4.
But that's good blitz recognition right there by Norris. He knew where his hot read was, and good job by Buckman showing his numbers quickly to where he was able to pull in for the reception. That's a good positive play on first down.
So 2nd and 6. McLaughlin into the game. Ellsworth. McLaughlin on the screen. He'll be hit and brought down as he gets it over the 30-yard line, so gain of 2 on the play. And a 3rd and long for the Hoyas.
And it's tough to run that tunnel screen on the short side of the field because the receiver doesn't get that momentum to build up into his wall of blockers to make something happen. So, but again, it was a positive play nonetheless, so now you have 3rd and about 3 or 4 to get something happen. They need this 3rd down.
A lot of swapping of personnel. They'll bring the 3 receivers over here to the short side. Buckman is a wing to the wide side. Need to get to the 35 for a first down. Play clock down to 5. Give it to Harrell. He'll cut it up. Spins forward, and he's got the first down. A big conversion there for the Hoyas to keep the ball out of Lehigh's hands.
And they worked hard for that first down. There a lot of shifts, a lot of motion, a lot of switching, but they got the first down, which is key. Now you can reset your offense and get back to basics. Good job right there. You see on the replay. Just making something happen, getting the first down, know where the 6 were, and now you move the chains.
So Darius into the game now. Also Bermudez as a wing next to Buckman. They'll send Darius. He'll get the ball, trying to get to the outside. Cuts it up and gets to the 40-yard line.
That's one thing I haven't seen teams do against Lehigh. You're not going to outflank them. They have a lot of speed and a lot of athleticism. Even by design, it's 3-3-5. You already have that extra guy in the alley, that rover or that safety. So it's going to be tough to run east and west. You got to start really developing your guys downhill and getting push up front to run the football north and south.
Well, the Hoyas trying to get anything going on the offensive end. Getting some first downs out of those east-west runs. Now McLaughlin goes in motion. They won't give it to him. Norris will just check it down to him. Cuts forward. McLaughlin ahead and gets a nice 3 or 4 yard gain.
And what you're seeing now is twofold. One, they're using a lot of clock, which is great. And 2, they're stringing together positive plays. So I like what I'm seeing from an offensive standpoint. And they're shrinking the ball game for Norris and making it simple for him, throwing a lot of short passes before they take that deep shot opportunity, which I'm pretty sure will be coming after the next first down they're able to get.
So 3rd and 3. Need to get to the 47-yard line for a first down. Again, Hoya is kind of moving around a little bit. Norris, some pressure, gets it out quick to Harrell. Flag is down on the play. Justin should have first down yardage, but let's see what the flag is. may bring it back.
Their offsides look like.
Now, is it lined up offsides? We'll talk this one over.
Illegal formation. Not enough men on the line. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
So it looks like,
third down.
I believe Hill wasn't up on the line of scrimmage, and James was, obviously an eligible number. So that's one of those mistakes, just kind of a self-inflicted wound.
And now that puts a lot of pressure on Norris because he was doing a good job in hitting the short passes. They're going to try to press him to hit something deeper as you see Lehigh walk up on all of these receivers and playing tight coverage.
So 3rd and 8 now for the Hoyas. Norris gonna roll, trying to get away from pressure. Throws it short to McLaughlin, who lunges forward, depends on the spot. Another flag is down. Actually 2 flags down on the play. This in the area of holding, but they're actually pointing towards Lehigh. I guess a legal man downfield.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense. Number 66. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Jared Horn.
Yeah, this is when you go crazy as a coach because you had 2 positive plays, 2 first downs, both negated by penalties, self-inflicted wounds. Now you find yourself in 3rd and 13, something that you hadn't been in all game long, and now you want to see how your young quarterback responds, but has to be frustrating for Coach Carlotta to see his guys make these mental mistakes.
Winston Jackson Jr. now into the game. Need to get out to their own 47 for a first down. Norris, pressure coming. Again, he's going to roll out. Again, throws to McLaughlin, but he's going to be short of the first down this time. By about a good 5 yards.
You can't blame McLaughlin on that one because he had to work his way back to the quarterback, but makes it an interesting decision now if you're Coach Carlotta. Are you at the point where you want to go for it, or you see right here he's going to send the punt team out and try to back these guys up? But a little bit of hesitation because he thought about it. I like how the passing game is starting to hit its stride. You see Norris getting outside the pocket, but those penalties killed what could have been a promising series here for Georgetown. Still was promising from an execution standpoint, but those penalties are what kills you in football games.
So McCollum will come on to punt it away. Pelletier back deep. Again, Lehigh trying to get into that wall. This will be a high kick. Pelletier will fair catch it inside his 20-yard line. So, again, Georgetown had a little bit going there on that drive, but just couldn't finish it off. Some penalties end up short-circuiting what they were doing.
And I call for these guys to take maybe 6 minutes off the clock. They got 4.5, which is still good because now it puts Lehigh in a situation where they're going to have to press to get something going here. They have the leverage, they have the lead, they have the 14-point lead, but they want their raw offense to put something on the board and finish this half.
Of course, Jelani Williamson, Patriot League Defensive Player of the Week last week at 6 tackles. Also, block kick return for a touchdown and an interception in the end zone that saved another. Sure, the Hoyas would love to see him pick another ball off right here. Mays remains in at quarterback for Lehigh after the ankle injury to Shefniski. Of course, Mays just threw a touchdown pass on the previous drive. Flag goes down. It's going to be a false start on Lehigh.
We've reached the penalty portion of the game now.
5-yard penalty, first down.
Both teams making mental errors.
Of course, last time out, we saw that big conversion on 3rd down by Mays, and then ends up leading to the touchdown pass to Pelletier.
Yeah, he threw a strike to Pelletier. Excellent throw right there for the touchdown.
So 1st and 15 now for Mountain Hawks as Hoyas show some pressure. They'll back out. This will be knocked up in the air and almost intercepted. Good coverage on the play as Akiri came up, and Williamson, we called for that interception, almost got it there.
Almost Johnny on the spot right there, but you like the aggressiveness by the secondary. They're challenging these wide receivers throughout the route. You see them getting good jams at the line of scrimmage and also waiting for these guys to make a move and contesting every pass. So you like the fact that the secondary of Georgetown is out here competing at a high level.
Yankovic in the game for the Hoyas, been getting some run today. Another quick linebacker. Mays going to be hit and brought down. Great play by the Georgetown defensive front as Jefferson and Tate had a meeting at the quarterback.
And that was a byproduct of the great coverage we saw in the back end. And A lot of times when guys aren't open, the quarterback tends to hold that football, and you're going to get that defensive line that's getting pushed and not rushing past the quarterback, staying alive and getting the sack, putting him on the ground. Now it's 3rd and about 20 for Lehigh.
Let's see what Lehigh does here. And no fear when it comes to calling plays, but in the shadow of their own goal line, they'll get to Bragalone. He'll be dragged down. Again, it's Christian Tate making the play, and the Hoya defense comes up with a nice stand to give their offense good field position.
And this has been a story all season for Georgetown. Their defense has played well enough to where their offense just has to take advantage on one of these gained opportunities that they're getting from their defensive play. And Tate has done a good job all game long. I like how he's playing versus the run and how he's also collapsed in the pocket. He's had a well of a game for Georgetown.
Tate, the 6 foot, 260-pound freshman out of Warner Robins, Georgia. Get another good recruiting find by Georgetown. Mish will punt it away. Darius is back deep. He's going to field it. May have some room to run. He's got an opening to the outside. Going to try and cut it back, and now be hit and brought down. But the speed of Michael Darius, he fields it and makes something happen.
And that's exactly what you want if you're Coach Scarlotta. You want a big play to happen offensively. It comes within the special teams department. Getting a return, a big return, now sets your offense up in a much more favorable situation. You're going to see right here just taking it behind the wall. You're also going to see two Hoyas block each other here, getting each other out the way, but nobody got in the way, no penalties. Good return, sets them up in great field position.
Saw a good block early in that play. I couldn't see the number, but a player got in, was under control, made sure he didn't clip a Lehigh guy in the back, waited for his numbers to turn towards him, and gets the block and gave Darius a few more yards. So Norris back in the shotgun. Hoyas looking for their first score of the game. Vallis will get it. Pressure comes to him. He's got to get what he can get. Somehow managed to get back and get a gain on that play, Emory. How impressive was that?
He gave Caslow the dead leg early on in the play, which froze him, but was able to fight through contact and get positive yards on first down.
It looked like it was setting up to be a 5-yard loss instead of a 2-yard gain for Vallis.
As a running back, you're always like, man, I'm running out of real estate going east and west. I got to find a way to make somebody miss. Somebody's going to pay for it.
Vallis on the season came in just under 300 yards on the year, had a 49-yard run, his longest of the year. Norris takes the low snap, looks over the middle, and an incomplete, and a flag comes in, and a good call, and the referee farthest away was the only one who saw it as Hill was getting held.
Yeah, Hill was getting held to try to pull his jersey off, but what I like about that was Norris saw the play from afar, and that's something that you want to see a young player do. He recognized where the pressure was coming from. He saw the one-on-one opportunity over the middle of the field and took the shot. It was a good read, good throw. We just were able to see the penalty right here. Grabbed him late in the play, slowed his process up, which drew the flag.
Defense, number 27.
It wasn't much, but it was enough to where it slowed him down.
First down.
So the pass interference penalty sets the Hoyas up in good position right here before the half, and 2:20 to go. So depending on how fast Georgetown moves here, they're inside the 10. At this point, you got to get the points. You don't worry about how long it takes to score them. But I think if you're Rob Scarlotta, you'd love to run it down to maybe 30 seconds before you score, not give Lehigh a rebuttal chance. Norris in the gun. Vallis next to him. Buckman's a wing. He'll look to throw. Buckman incomplete. Might have walked in, but Norris, it's a little too hard. That's an inexperienced mistake.
You got to hit your free throws, so to speak. I know we had Midnight Madness last night. Just want to use a basketball reference, but that's an easy throw you expect to make. And you're right, Buckman would have walked into the end zone. You can't have those opportunities pass you by if you're Georgetown. Just right there, just leap the guy out on a fake zone read, and that's a play you have to make.
So 2nd and goal. Williams goes in motion. Norris going to step up. Now he's going to run with it, and he'll be hit and brought down. And again, right now, you can see the maturation of a quarterback, but everything just a little beat slow. I think if he takes off right away, probably gets in. You heard the crowd yelling, go, go, go.
Crowd's giving him encouragement, like throw the ball, run the ball. You know, again, like you're right. That's a good point. If things happen a little bit quicker for him, he's maybe able to convert those plays.
So Lehigh is going to take a timeout here, so they want some time to get the ball back. Andy Cohen is going to go ahead and make sure he has a chance to get his rebuttal, so to speak. But interesting time out there, but I guess he's thinking, why should I go ahead and waste them?
Right, it's 3rd and goal, so Georgetown can't get a first down. So he's putting a lot of pressure on Georgetown to either punch this ball in or come away with the field goal. He wants to get the field goal out of Georgetown, but good timeout, I think, here, because he's going to rally his troops, try to get the right play call defensively, and save some time for their offense to go out and push the pace. Because, again, it doesn't matter if it's Brad Mays, or Nick Shepniski. They can push the tempo with either quarterback.
You see, this is a little bit of history today for the Hoyas. It's the latest date for their Patriot League opener. The previous latest came back in 2013 on the 12th of October. And, of course, you know the significance of that date. That was a game that our colleague Michael Niebrick played in against Tim Barnes. Tim Barnes had only started before coming into this year. Of course, we visited that, our first game of the season. Niebrick not with us this week. He's on assignment. Actually, I believe he's at his sister's wedding, so glad hopefully he's having a good time. And we miss you, Mike, and we'll have you back next time.
Yeah, he couldn't miss a wedding, you know.
Actually, not his sister's wedding.
Couldn't miss the wedding.
And so you might be out of the family on that one. So 3rd down, empty backfield for Norris. Man goes in motion. Quick pass, screen pass, and Hill's going to be brought down for a loss.
You know, Lehigh wasn't fooled on that play at all. They didn't really have to get out of what they were in initially defensively from a formation standpoint, because on this end of the field, I understand the call, but on this end of the field, there's not a lot of room where you're going to get that movement that you want. Good job by Lehigh holding firm and enforcing the field goal attempt here by Georgetown, and good job by Georgetown getting down the field and possibly putting points up on the board.
And you see there a little bit where I think maybe between the fact the Hoyas a little thin at the quarterback spot and also not having Barnes there and no real run threat from the quarterback spot kind of limited what they could do.
Yeah, that's a great point, because normally we would have seen probably a run-pass option with Barnes, but, you know, you just lost a quarterback in Barnes due to a play, you know, where he's on the run, and you don't want to risk losing a guy that's his backup, a young guy going in, to where you're going to have to go to a freshman.
So Darmstadter will come on. They'll set this one down at the 13-yard line, so a 23-yard kick, just a little bit more than an extra point. Hoyas looking for their first points of the game out of the hold of Norris. Set down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So Darmstadter puts it through, and the Hoyas break the ice with 1:41 left to go in the second quarter. And, of course, we mentioned they get the ball to start the second half, so if there was any thinking of, hey, we got to go for it, probably went by the wayside when they realized they get the ball back. Now, the problem, of course, Emory, is you got to get back to this Lehigh team when they're going to be looking to score here.
And you got to tell your defense, like, hey, don't let up, don't give up anything easy. You want to stay aggressive and force these guys to get off the field quickly, or either in the half. And how big was that drop by Buckman, or the incomplete pass by Buckman on that pass drive?
Of course, it set up that scoring drive of the Georgetown defense where we saw them get some pressure on Mays. We saw it right there. The Hoyas getting back and making things tough on Lehigh.
Yeah, they're constantly resetting the line of scrimmage. We're starting to see them have a lot of success against this Mountain Hawks offensive line. If they can continue that on this drive, they can really get these guys off the field or in the half.
Christian Tate with a nice few plays on that last drive, doing some really good things. So Pretty on to kick this one away. Lehigh kind of scooching up a little bit. Not expecting a deep kick. Casey and Ray Redmond back to return it. High kick. Ray Redmond's going to field it at his 20. Tries to get to the outside. He's got some space, and it'll be taken down by the kicker, Pretty, but not until he brings it out across the 35-yard line.
That's a good job right there by Pretty. Again, we've seen Pretty make a play, and on that punt return by by Pelletier, we saw McCollum make a play. So the kickers are involved in making plays, because had not Pretty made that tackle, he'd still be running. That was set up perfectly.
The Georgetown guys jumped inside, and luckily Pretty was there to help out. So Lehigh's got a chance here to add some points before the half, have to answer or go above the Georgetown field goal. They'll get it out quickly to Casey. He'll be brought down before the sticks in the field of play. The clock will continue to move.
Alignment, assignment, execution, just get lined up properly if you're Georgetown is going to be key.
2nd and 3. Tries to throw, resets. This will be completed. Good play there by Mays as he had a guy jumping in his face, but reset himself and was able to find Knott for the first down.
Good veteran play right there by Mays, just not panicking in that situation and getting the ball downfield for a first down.
Hoyas bringing blitz. Lehigh picks it up, going deep down the sidelines, incomplete as they were looking for that fly pattern, trying to find Casey.
And see, this is the difference when you have a veteran backup, a guy that has played a lot, even though he's only a sophomore. He's played a lot of football for Lehigh. He played a lot last year, and we saw him play a lot this season versus Colgate. But this is just a great throw coming off of the pressure by Georgetown, not panicking, getting the football downfield and managing the situation very well.
2nd and 10. Bragalone in the backfield. Kissel got a little pressure, but again, they find Knott. He's just working in the middle of the field on the Hoyas, and he gets another first down.
I think the Hoyas were thrown off a bit by what they thought was a false start by the offensive line. Kind of hesitated, and Mays took advantage.
Mays, again over the middle. Again, that'll be completed, this time to Pelletier as he'll take it inside the 15-yard line. Timeout's going to be called, and Rob Scarlatta taking a basketball timeout right now, just saying his team's a little bit gassed and has got to get their bearing before Lehigh just walks into the end zone.
Yeah, you have to take a timeout here to get guys lined up properly and get them set, because right now that pace and that tempo is kicking them in the butt. They've marched down the field, and you have to be impressed with Brad Mays and what he's doing in a pressure situation, moving his offense down the field.
You saw Kislick there. He didn't even rush. He just dropped back and almost got a hand on that ball. That's huge right now as a defensive lineman. If you're the Hoyas, you got to tip some balls if you can.
Because you know the ball will come out quick, so that means the quarterback will tend to stare down where he's going with it, so you can read his eyes and get your hands up and knock it away.
14-3 our score. Lehigh up on Georgetown, and Andy Cohen, some respect for the Hoyas as he decided to take his timeouts. When Georgetown looked like they were going to go in for a score, they ended up getting a field goal out of it, but ends up preserving time for his quarterback to get down the field. Of course, Nick Shepniski started the game. Their starting quarterback got injured, I believe hurt his ankle, but Brad Mays, who's seen some time before, has come on and has done very well so far for Lehigh.
Just a lot of poise in the pocket by Mays. I've been very impressed with how he's handling the situation so far in this game.
So Mays in the gun. Looking to throw. This will be tipped, and is it picked off? It is. So again, Hunter Kislick, they talk about how smart of a player he is. A very smart player right there. The ball's tipped. He ends up getting it and stopping the Lehigh momentum and keeps them away from a score before the half.
And you called it on the previous play. He almost had that intercept before. The tip ball nearly tipped it on the last one. He tipped that one, Kislick, and was able to pull it in for the interception. I would even say that he is the Georgetown version of David Pollock. We saw Pollock be all over the field for Georgia, block kicks, catching passes. You know, you see him getting an interception here, so it's a good job. Good first half, I think, by Georgetown's defense.
Christian Tate had the tip on that play, continuing his good first half. Let's see what the Hoyas do here. You think they probably just run the clock out, but we'll see. Vallis taking his time to the outside, stacked up by the Lehigh defense as they try and strip the ball loose. Lehigh with only one timeout left. Let's see if Coach Cohen takes it or lets the Hoyas just run things out. But again, we talk about the Hoyas, their propensity for forcing turnovers, and it has saved their bacon today as they got the interception there by Kislick. Also get the interception by Butler. Had the one earlier that could have led to a touchdown as it was deep in Lehigh territory. But Hoyas dodge another bullet. They trail by just 11 going into the half.
That's a big-time win at the end of the half by Georgetown. Again, their front end is helping out their back end. They're getting great help from their D-line and their linebacking core and slowing down this Lehigh offense.
Most definitely. And, anytime you can hold a prolific offense like the Mountain Hawks to 14 points and a half, you're doing something really well. And again, it's a combination of things. We've seen at Emory, they've been able to, even though they really haven't done much on offense, they've been able to run the ball, take some time off the clock. They've made Lehigh kind of go station to station a little bit, and they get the turnovers, and that's led to the fact that they're only down by 2 scores going into the half.
Yeah, and you look at their defense, again, this excellent front seven play by Georgetown is really helping them out. Now, Lehigh, you have to like how they can control it, whether push it tempo and then slow it down. They're doing a great job moving the football.
Yeah, doing a good job for Lehigh. But again, the Hoyas defense, they needed it to rise up a little bit today. It has so far, as they've kept Lehigh in check. Also maybe a little bit of a help from the injury to their starting quarterback as well. And Shevnisky Mays doing a pretty good job, though, as well. And we sit at a 14-3 score. Lehigh leading Georgetown at the half. We'll be back with more after this on the Patriot League Network on Campus Insiders.
This game tonight, they want to head back to Poughkeepsie at 500 as well. Yeah, absolutely. You got to be fundamentally sound when this defense gets out there. They just got to do it.
You're obviously a guy, a ball hawk back there.
It was a major point emphasis for us. And also, we need to be a better third down situation. So much spread. And there's finally a handoff.
Calhoun's going to get to the
In the Patriot League, our playbooks look a little different. Here, we play to win on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. A competitive athletic experience with high academic standards. Today's scholar athlete, tomorrow's leaders. That's the Patriot League.
Okay, guys, so that's clear to watch number 1. We need number 3, Blue. Kelsey for another 20.
Welcome back to our nation's capital. Lehigh leading Georgetown 14-3 at the half. The Mountain Hawks' prolific offense held in check in the first 30 minutes, but the Lehigh defense stepping up and holding the Hoyas to just 3 points in this first half of football. Jeremy Huber and Emory Hunt back with you as we take a look at our first half highlights. And most of these Lehigh's way, though the Georgetown defense did step up. We saw it early on, this great play here by Casey.
Yeah, and you see Casey right there breaking 2 tackles and outrunning the rest of the defense to the end zone. Great opening play for the touchdown.
Came on the second drive. And we would see an interesting play here where Christian Tate, who was all over the field, would go ahead and would grab Shepniski as he was going down, throwing up for grabs. Ends up being picked off by Butler. We would see Javion Butler pick one off later in the game off of a pass there. But again, it was a really big turning point where the whistle blew. It looked like it was a big pick for the Hoyas in their end. Instead, it ended up not being, but a big play to kind of stifle a drive there. Then we would see Mays show his legs there, setting up a Bragalone pass over the middle. So he'd find his other receiver as he would find that one. And then Darius would make a big play, Emory.
Yeah, and it was the biggest play of the game for Georgetown, I guess, because when you look at the punt return, setting him up inside the red zone, allowing them to get a field goal before the half, which was huge for their confidence going forward.
That would be booted through. And then the Lehigh, though, would come down and try and conserve their timeouts. They would work the ball down the field and find not there. But then you would see the Hoyas, again, they would keep moving the field. It looked like Lehigh is going to go into score, but instead the Hoyas would eventually step up and find their footing on the defensive end, and we would see the play right here. Tate making another play.
Yeah, Tate getting off of a block and getting his hands in the area of that passing lane, and Kislick making another big play, picking it off to end the half.
Yeah, again, Christian Tate, Kislick, we kind of were waiting for Kislick. He came up with a big play there off the tip ball by Christian Tate, keeping the score just 11 points. Big for the Hoyas, Emory, as of course, if you're Georgetown, you can't let Lehigh get too far out in front of you.
And you can't, because you have a situation where both quarterbacks have played well, Shepniski and also Mays, and they have to really find a way to get to Mays because he's picking them apart with his passing.
Looking at some of these scoreboard updates from earlier on, of course, Fordham appearing to be on their way to a win against Yale. Colgate and Bucknell on a tight one, then the surprising one down low. Holy Cross, without their starting quarterback, giving Harvard all they can handle.
I mean, Holy Cross has been up and down all season. Even that Colgate-Bucknell score, I will keep an eye on that one because Bucknell's offensive and defensive line, I think, is a lot better than what you're seeing from Colgate, but Colgate has the better perimeter players, which is why they have the lead.
Should be interesting to see how it goes, but again, some interesting scores on the scoreboard right there. Well, we're going to take another break. We'll be back with more football after this. Lehigh leads Georgetown 14-3. You're watching it on the Patriot League Network on Campus Insiders.
Game tonight. They want to head back to Poughkeepsie at 500 is going so far. Yeah, absolutely. You got to be fundamentally sound when this defense gets out there. They just got to do.
But you're obviously a guy, a ball hawk back there.
It was a major point of emphasis for us. And also, we need to be a better third down situation.
Spread. And there's finally a handoff.
Calhoun's going to get the
In the Patriot League, our playbooks look a little different. Here, we play to win on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. A competitive athletic experience with high academic standards. Today's scholar athlete, tomorrow's leaders. That's the Patriot League.
Okay, guys, so that's clear to watch number 1. We need number 3, blue. Kelsey for another 20 or so. Ready? Yep. Roll it. Ready, come back out to 2. Third player to watch for the blue team today, it's number 5, Tyler Dunn.
Welcome back to our nation's capital. The specialists warming up as Lehigh leads Georgetown 14-3 at the half. And of course, we've seen some pretty yeoman work on both defenses earlier today, but Georgetown's even more so as they've held this Lehigh defense in check with a few different things, Emory. First off, turnovers.
Yeah, Javion Butler is playing his way onto many All-American teams, making an interception right there. We've seen help from the defensive line, helped out the linebackers, and subsequently helping out the secondary. And they're doing a good job just playing the run. You see right here, Tate making the stop behind the line of scrimmage, and all of these things help a team against one of the most prolific offenses in the FCS.
And Jefferson getting in on the act along with Tate, and then we would see the young freshman Tate again make the big play here.
That was a good job. He hit him with the push, the spin, and then the tip, and Kislick was able to finish off the play and kick off the pass.
Again, Christian Tate, just a freshman, kind of celebrating his work there with Kislik. You see the first half numbers, not pretty on Georgetown's end, except for really the score keeping them in. But we've seen some of the great equalizers, turnovers. That's always one of them, and that's kind of hurt the Mountain Hawks today.
Yeah, that has been the biggest equalizer in this game because they've had success running the football. We've seen the success throwing the football, and Georgetown hasn't been able to capitalize until that last drive, which came off a punt return. So their offense really has to get it going in the second half.
And we see third downs. Lehigh keeping up their torrid pace they always seem to have. The Hoyas, again, struggling. They've got to find a way to move the sticks.
Yeah, that has been the one stat that has remained true from the pregame now to what we see now at halftime, and that's something that has to get fixed if Georgetown is going to win this game.
Let's check out the individual stats today, and we've seen Chef Niski, of course, out of the game. We'll see if he comes back in. Over 100 yards. His backup, Mays, has done some good things, though. Clay Norris still trying, a little bit stuck in neutral, trying to get some yardage going and get some plays downfield.
And the one drive he had some success was nullified by 2 penalties, which was a huge series for Georgetown's offense. And look at Lehigh's receivers, Casey and Pelletier. When you have 2 receivers that are able to eat like this, it makes them very tough to defend. Your corners have to be on throughout the game.
Let's take a look at the Patriot League standings. And, of course, just one game in, but we've seen a few games in for a few teams, but you see Lehigh trying to improve to 2-0 on the season. Fordham, Bucknell as well. Of course, really interesting. The Hoyas, really their first game, so they're just starting things off, but should be a wild and woolly race to the Patriot League final. Some of these games we've seen early kind of stay and show that maybe this is an interesting league this year.
Exactly, and we've seen Colgate do this before. Just last year, they were, I want to say, 1-4 last year and made a run to the quarterfinals or semifinals of the playoffs, so they can turn it around pretty quickly. They're a talented team. Lehigh started off very impressive with the win against Central Connecticut State, but this is a very tough league and one that's vastly underrated when you're talking about the FCS.
Jeremy Huber and Emory Hunt back with you high above the field here at Cooper Field, and really it's been a double duty weekend for many of our crew here, as last night we were able to go ahead and be part of Hoya Madness last night, the basketball team's opening to their season. Of course, had a chance to check out the wonderful McDonough Arena, but also the Thompson Center, the brand new Thompson Center adjacent to it. Let's take a quick look at the Thompson Center and all the wonderful things it involves. Such a wonderful facility here at Georgetown. The Thompson Center, named after John Thompson Jr., such a wonderful honor. Of course, should really boost up not only the basketball programs here, but also all the sports programs on the campus as well. Well, these two coaches know each other very well. Before we're getting ready to do some pregame interviews, I saw Coach Cohen and Coach Scarlotta having a wonderful conversation. Dates back to 1995. Emory, of course, Coach Scarlotta, a player at Georgetown, then took over as an assistant here. Of course, Coach Cohen coming to Lehigh back in 1994. So these guys have coached each other against each other for a long time. At one point, Cohen was coaching the offensive line. Scarlotta was assisting on the defensive side of things. Then, of course, all as a defensive line coach, defensive coordinator as well. So these guys know each other very well. They're good friends, but they like to compete against each other.
Which is why this game is probably closer than what a lot of people are expecting that are out there, you know, in TV land. Hey, Lehigh has a really good offense, but when you know the other guys' tendencies and know what makes them tick and know how they coach, you're going to play a closer game. That's why this is a great watch for everyone out there.
So the Hoyas going to look to get some things going here in the second half after really sputtering on the offensive end, but their defense keeping them in the ball game, and that's always important. We saw it last year with this Hoyas team. If you can hang around, you have a chance to win it at the end. Usually the Hoyas play pretty well in the second half.
And you want them to win 2 out of the 3 aspects, defense or special teams or offense and defense, but they have to win 2 in order to win the game. Right now, Lehigh is winning offense, and they're winning special teams right now, which is why they have a lead.
It's almost ready for the second half here at Cooper Field. Glad you could be with us on the Patriot League Network on Campus Insiders. Lehigh with the 11-point lead here as we get ready to start the second half. Mountain Hawks looking to move to 2-0 in Patriot League play. This is the opener for the Hoyas in Patriot League play. And again, we talked about it before. This is a long-time advantage in this series for Lehigh. The Hoyas have never beaten Lehigh in Patriot League play. They've got everybody else, but they have not got the Mountain Hawks. It's been so long, Emory, that if you think about it, I believe the Mountain Hawks weren't the Mountain Hawks when this thing started. They were still the Lehigh Engineers.
And I missed that name, too. The Engineers. Pretty cool. But Mountain Hawks are awesome. Their uniforms are awesome. I think for the second half, what you're expecting to see is just a lot more consistency from Georgetown on the offensive side. Can they build on the success they had in that second quarter coming out in the third quarter?
So almost ready for second half action here at Cooper Field in D.C. So glad to have you along. As it'll be Ed Mish kicking off for Georgetown, and back deep again, Darius. He'll be joined by Ellsworth. Lehigh in all white today. Georgetown, navy helmets, navy jerseys, and white pants. So on a sunny day in Georgetown, we are underway in the second half. And again, Mish with a nice kickoff to send Ellsworth all the way back into the end zone as he will take a knee. Coming into this game, Emory, only 3 touchbacks by Mish, but he's put a few down already today.
Mish is kicking the heck out of the football in this one. Like what I've seen from him, too, as far as like the styles of kicks. Sometimes he'll get height. Sometimes he'll drive it to where it's tough to field. So he's been kicking well today.
So let's see if any new wrinkles for the Hoyas coming out of the halftime. As again, it'll be Norris filling in for the injured Tim Barnes, starting off the second half. Norris finds Buckman, makes the catch, stays on his feet, and Matt has his pins taken out from underneath of him, but still finds a little more yardage and gets very close to the sticks, about a yard short.
And that's what you want to see from Buckman. You want to see him get more involved in this ball game. He's a really good tight end. If they can get him going early, it opens things up for those guys on the outside.
Buckman now a wing. That starting receiving crew is out there with Norris. Vallis actually going to be kept by Norris. Fake me out as he has first down yardage all the way across the 45-yard line.
Of course he faked you out. You're a former defensive lineman. I saw that play the whole way. Just a good job right there by Norris, tucking it in, running and getting the first down and protecting himself and the football on that one. See right here, good fake. He rolled it pretty tight, fooled the end man on the line of scrimmage right there, number 7, and was able to pull it around to get pick up the first down.
Pierce Raponte looking right at it. Just gets fake. So good job by Norris to get something going with his feet. Now a hand to Vallis. And Vallis this time hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he loses a yard. Has too much penetration of the Lehigh defense.
And you saw defensive end Tyler Cavinas right there, 6'5", 280. It's a difference when you're 6'5" and you have length but don't play with length. And watching film on him, you see a guy that plays 6'5", so it's tough to get around him. It's tough to run away from him because he does a great job in chasing the play around and making a tackle, as he did right there for a loss.
Half-yard loss for the Hoyas. They'll give to Vallis, try to get around the end. Alex, a little space, but it closes quickly as getting over there to make the stop was Sam McCloskey, the strong safety.
Evan Harvey, the linebacker, number 4, is the guy that made that play because he strung out that reach block on the perimeter, which forced Vallis to try to continue to run horizontal and until his teammates were able to get there and make the tackle. So that was a great job. It won't show up in the stat sheet, but Evan Harvey, the linebacker, made that play.
So the Hoyas looking to move the chains again. They did it with the run last time. Can they do it? Likely with the pass. Quick audible. Norris out in the flat, and he has Hill for first down yardage. Just easy pitch and catch for Georgetown.
Yeah, nice timing route right there on the comeback. Hit him in stride, hit him on time, and now you see an offense that's starting to have that success that we saw them have in the middle part of the second quarter. Looks like Norris is starting to get into his groove as far as feeling the pressure and throwing the football on time.
So 1st and 10 for Norris as Ellsworth checks in. They'll fake it to him. Now quick screen. Williams goes down to a knee, and they'll finally blow it dead. Rob Scarlatta's not happy. I think in a sense that the lineman let it go while the inside referee blew the whistle.
Crowd is upset with that one.
Receiver caught the ball, but his knee was on the ground. Second down.
And here's the thing. If you're the receiver on that play, you have to understand you can't go down to a knee and catch the football. This is not the NFL or CFL. You have to know either if it's too far for me, let me run up and try to meet the ball halfway. But you can't go to a knee because the refs will see that. I don't care how athletic you think you are. You can't allow that to happen. That negated a big play for Georgetown.
So a 1-yard loss. Norris pulls it down, resets. He throws it to Williams. It's pulled loose. Finally, the referee is going to wave that one off. So it looked like a little rhythm was starting to be established, but the Hoyas again getting out of it.
It's a good play right there by Pierce Rapanti. I like their linebackers, man. They played a great game. Those linebackers of Lehigh, Rapanti and Caslow and Harvey, all three have made an impact on this drive right here for Georgetown.
And Rob Scarlatta really complimentary of this linebacking core for Lehigh. 3rd and 11 for Norris. Sophomore out of North Carolina. Fake the handoff. He'll throw it out looking for Williams. Plenty of contact, and now the referee will throw the flag, and that should move the chains for Georgetown as Donovan Harris gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
That was a good call right there by the refs because he was a little bit too handsy down the field. That would have happened on a shorter route. I don't think they would have called it, but you can't do that 10 to 12 yards down the field.
Defense, number 12. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Another timing throw here on the down right there by Norris. Good throw across the field, but just handsy by the defensive back, Donovan Harris, who has played a really good game. Got his first start against Colgate, but he's played well today, just a little too handsy on that penalty.
Harris, the sophomore out of New Jersey. Terrell goes in motion. They hand to him. Try to cut it up. Now has to cut it back, and right now, not only is Lehigh sniffing that out, Matt Buckman is down on the ground. He's going to get himself up, but he's banged up, and he may have hurt his shoulder once again.
Yeah, he pointed to that shoulder right away, and another great play by the linebacking core. Caslow was able to belly that play back in the backfield, and now you have one of their best playmakers coming off the field, which just makes things tougher for Norris, the quarterback. But you see here on the jet sweep, good job setting the edge by the corner, Laquan Lambert, and cleanup job done well by the linebacking core of Lehigh once again.
So now a 2nd and 15. Hoyas behind the sticks. Norris gets the low snap. Over the middle and incomplete, looking for Harrell. May have got tipped by a DB, but that's a play you'd love to see your team make for the quarterback.
Yeah, you want Harrell to get his arms out, his hands out, and extend for that, not allow the ball to get into his body, because when you allow that to happen, if you get hit at the same time as the ball arrives, that will happen. The ball will bounce off you and it'll be incomplete, but he has to make that catch. That was a good job going through his progressions by Norris.
So interesting here, 3rd and 15. This may be 2-down territory very early in the game, but I don't know if they'll gain much if they punt it deep. So let's see where the Hoyas go. Norris again gets the low snap. Again, that'll be completed. Good catch by Williams to bring that one in. He's about 4 yards short of the sticks, but makes it a manageable one. It looks like the Hoyas are going to go with the field goal.
Now you saw the difference on that catch as opposed to the previous play where he got his hands out, extended, and got there at the same time as the defender hit him. He was able to secure it, which makes this a much more manageable field goal situation. So if you're a receiver out there watching, the second example is how you want to do it versus a contested catch.
42-yard attempt by Darmstadter. Good hold. Kick is up. And Darmstadter is going to push this one to the left, so he can't put it through, and the Hoyas' good drive fizzles out with a missed kick.
Yeah, sometimes you want to make sure you're calm before you're getting up there, not really rushing. There was no need to rush. Kind of rushed that kick and but again, offensively, you have to be impressed with how well they're able to move the football. Now, if you're Lehigh coming out, you look at where your offense left off at the end of the end of the first half. You came out, you moved the football well with pace, and I think they have to come in and just hit play once again because their offense can definitely move the football.
Well, Brad Mays is going to come out, so it looks like the injury to Shefniski, no word on that, but it looks like it's going to keep him out for the rest of the game. Mays, some pressure on him. He escapes it. He'll throw out in the flat. Complete. Nice move to stay alive by Casey, and he ends up with a 12-yard gain.
And you see that's where the return game aspect of his game comes into play, able to make that first guy miss and pick up the first down. I just want to correct myself in the first half. We just got hit up on Twitter by @DR Henning saying that his first start was against Yale and not Colgate.
Completion to the other receiver in Pelletier. He's close to the sticks, I believe just a yard short. So now maybe with the benefit of a halftime break, they're going with a quicker pace than they were when Mays first came in.
And this is the benefit of having a guy that has played a lot of football. You can just pick up right where you left off offensively, and they're doing exactly what they did when Shevniski was in there.
Bragalone will get it. Hit and stuffed, but not until he's about 3 yards down into the secondary for the Hoyas, and he has a first down, and now a player is down up front for Lehigh.
Like their left tackle, Tim O'Hara. He was second team All-Patriot League last season. That'll be a huge loss for Lehigh's offense.
Yeah, definitely O'Hara just gets washed up. Someone blocking Brian Jefferson. He's got his leg rolled up on. You never know with those, but you hope he's okay. Again, Lehigh with the first down ball right at the 50. And good to see O'Hara sitting up. Take another look at it.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. You just hate those plays because you got bodies on the ground and you got to get your feet up, and you know, you hate to speculate whether it's an ankle or a knee, but he got rolled up on, and you saw him instantly say, you know, that something was bothering him. So
he'll come off with help. So Lehigh will have to shuffle a little bit on the offensive line. I believe Sweeney was actually already in there. As Sweeney backs up on a few positions on that left side. He's listed as the backup left guard and left tackle, so see where they go.
And he's a senior, so he comes in, a guy that played a lot of football, which, again, makes the transition a lot easier if you're Andy Cohen.
So it looks like Micah Tennant will now kick out to left tackle. Throw over the middle, completed, and down to the 40-yard line. So another big gain for the Mountain Hawks, and Drew Paulson, the tight end. I want to correct myself. Actually, Sweeney just stayed at left tackle while Tennant stays at his left guard spot. So 1st and 10 for Lehigh, holding an 11-point lead over Georgetown here in D.C. Bragalone up the middle. This time the Hoyas do a good job of stopping him, but he still gets 2 yards.
Yeah, Bragalone is sneaky because right now people are probably thinking, well, he's just kind of like, you know, keeping the offense on pace. But when teams fall asleep, Bragalone has the speed to take it the distance, so you have to stay alert if you're Georgetown's second level.
Bragalone had a career-high 169 rushing yards last year against the Hoyas, so he's had his day before against them. 2nd and 8. Hoyas jump. Does Kislev get back? They say he does. He'll throw this one up and incomplete. So Hoyas catch a break, as I think Lehigh, looking at the referee, say, hey, where's the flag? But they say Hunter got back in time.
And he got away with one right there because I thought the ball got snapped as soon as he jumped offside. But now we're in the 3rd and long situation. So if you're Georgetown, do you dial up extra pressure to get in the face of Mays? Because he has had a lot of time back here on this particular drive, scanning his options and making things happen in the passing game. So they have to find a way to get pressure on. You see Javion Butler is lined up on the line of scrimmage on this play, so they're probably coming.
Yankovic showing pressure as well on this 3rd and 8. Did he get it inside the 30 for a first down? Mays got some time, looking deep, And he will be completed, and it will be a touchdown. They're going to say he is down at the 1-yard line. But a big catch. And now Lehigh waving him along. I think they're thinking there might be a replay. There is no replay today. As that catch by Casey, setting them up in good field position, and Georgetown's going to have to burn a timeout. As Lehigh did a good job to get up. Let's take a look at the play.
There was a couple of things on that play. Could have been offensive pass interference. It kind of pulled down a defender right there, and good effort right here, laying out for the ball. That's a catch from where we.
Oh my goodness, that is not
that's
good.
That's not a catch.
Good grief, that is a terrible, terrible call.
Everything was clean until he rolled over. He didn't follow through with the catch, but
that is about as bad of a call as you will ever see.
Yeah, that was tough right there. Again, you love the effort laying out, and everything is looking good right here. Catch, fall, complete, and then as he rolls over, you're going to see the drop. That's good, and then boom, ball comes out. That's a drop right there.
I mean, you're talking Butch Johnson in the Cowboys Super Bowl.
It's an elite pass.
So there they go. I don't know how they decided to overturn that after the fact, but they did. And maybe a good timeout by the Hoyas there, by Lehigh going so fast. But it let the officials talk and correct what would have been a monumental error.
Well, how good is the law school here at Georgetown?
Pretty good.
Pretty good sell job right there by Rob Scarlotta.
And Lehigh, Lehigh can complain all they want, and in a sense, procedurally, I don't know if that's the right way to go, but it's the right call.
It's the right call, right. Exactly. Because, again, everything was all good initially until he rolled over and you saw the ball on his side.
So now the problem is I don't know if they know where the chains are exactly.
Yeah, everything kind of went haywire after that play. You saw a lot of guys running in and out. The chains were trying to get set. What down is it actually? Is it third down or is it fourth down?
I'm going to say it's fourth.
Could be fourth down, 37-yard line. There is no charge timeout.
So here's the question. If you're Andy Cohen, part of me says you don't go for this just because Georgetown had so much trouble moving the ball. We'll see it again. It was a third down on the sticks.
Yeah, it came out as soon as he rolled over, but you love the effort right there laying out for the reception.
So gutsy call here by Andy Cohen, as he's going to keep his offense out on 4th and 8. Hoya shows some pressure, again looking deep, and again they will have a catch and a flag goes down. Question is on who?
The same exact play they ran.
It'll be on the defense. So talk about guts. Lehigh with them in spades, and not only do they go for it, but they go deep and they get it on the catch.
And here's the thing. I think you look at the defensive back and saying, well, hey, the last play, he was in great position, but didn't get his head around. And so we can go back to that and try to get the same play. And it worked to perfection because, again, he ran the smash route on the outside, a hitch on the outside, ran that inside receiver down the sail route, down the seam, and hit him once again wide open. But the defensive back didn't turn around, which is why he drew the flag.
Bragalone will take it. Bragalone in for the score. So what turned into a big break for the Hoyas turns right back into a Lehigh score, and they take the 20-3 lead with the extra point pending.
Yeah, this is why you always tell defensive backs to turn and find the football. A lot of times refs won't call pass interference when you turn and look back for it, and it happened on the previous play where it looked as if the receiver pulled down the defensive back, and it happened on the subsequent play for the touchdown, or sorry, for the big play down inside the 1 yard line. So you got to look and find the football if you're a defensive back.
So Mish, who's had a spectacular kicking day, on for the extra point. He'll boot it through, and now a 21-3 lead, Lehigh. So Hoya's kind of been holding off this Mountain Hawk offense for most of the game, but right now they're having some trouble.
And if you're Lehigh, you did exactly what you wanted to do coming out of half. You got your offense on the field, and you marched it down the field. And I think this was a great job on this drive by their offensive line, because Georgetown tried to get pressure, but they built up a wall. They couldn't really affect Mays back there in the pocket, but if you're Georgetown on offense, you saw how well you were able to move the football, and now you want them to pay off with points.
Just saw Luke Thompson grabbing the back judge, trying to explain his point on some of the plays he didn't like, but you see the plays here. So they throw it deep. Pelletier thought he made the catch, but the ball comes clearly out. The referee isn't even looking to see if he completed the catch. So that one, eventually after a Georgetown timeout, they talk about it and overturn it. Well, then they go right back. And again, this will be the actual same play. So you see him just drop the ball. No one really looking at it to see him drop it. And then you go ahead and see Bragalone. This was after Pelletier made the long catch to set that one up. So going right back to the same play as you said, Emory.
Yeah, if it's not broke, why fix it? So they've had opportunities to go deep down the field. They took advantage of it on that particular drive.
Again, Mish with the kickoff into the end zone as Ellsworth will take an knee. And right now, those low kicks are working for Mish as he's just cutting through and getting him into the end zone and making the Hoyas start from their 25.
And you hate to say that they need a quick strike here if you're Georgetown, but I think they have to get this crowd right back into the ball game. They have to do so by getting a quick strike.
So your scoreboard, Fordham trying to hold on against Yale, while Colgate extending their lead against Bucknell, and Holy Cross extending that lead against Harvard. Army, of course, putting a hurting on Lafayette earlier today. A good Army team this year.
Yeah, I think Army is going bowling, and no one wants to face that option attack, especially when it's a good option attack like you see with the Black Knights.
So let's see what Clay Norris can do. 1st and 10. Quick screen out to Williams. He'll be spun out of bounds, and a flag goes down and could be a face mask here. Kind of came in late.
Thought he got him on the shoulder.
Could be a blocking penalty, though. Maybe a hold.
And you saw that play work to perfection against Harvard for Georgetown. Ended up being a touchdown. They need a big play in a hurry against Lehigh right now.
Foul. Face mask. Offense. Number 20. 15-yard penalty. First down.
They say that one's on Winston Jackson Jr. So again, the Hoyas with some mistakes that just unforced today, and that's hurt them against a good opponent in Lehigh.
The opponent is already out there trying to beat you. You can't join them and beat yourself, and they have to really get these penalties cleaned up because it's just backing up their offense with an inexperienced quarterback.
So now looking at a 1st and 25. There's Norris in the shotgun with Vallis next to him. Quick screen to Harrell. He'll be hit and brought down after a short gain.
Read and react.
Right now, Emory, everything is short. Everything is short for the Hoyas, and you kind of wonder, is it kind of the inexperience, is not worried about the offensive line, different things, but really after those first 2 plays of the game, they haven't really tested downfield.
And now if you're Lehigh, you sense that. Now you're starting to get extra aggressive in your rush lanes and your pursuit lanes as well.
So 2nd and 15 here. Quick out in the flat to Harrell. Tries to make a man miss, but some good tackling by the Mountain Hawks. And they'll knock him out of bounds around the 27.
Even on that play, nice route concept, but I felt as though Norris went with the safe route because he had a receiver screaming open over the middle of the field. Tommy Jessen was wide open on a quick slant. Had he threw the football there, he would have had an opportunity for a big play, but chose a shorter route.
So 3rd and 8. Hoyas need to get across the 35-yard line for a first down. Norris, the sophomore out of North Carolina, looking over the Lehigh defense. Down to 5 seconds on the play clock. Lehigh bringing some pressure, looking deep, and that'll be incomplete and well away from the intended receiver, Harrell, who got knocked down by the DB, but that ball really wasn't close.
Yeah, they sent the corner blitz coming from the short side of the field. Nice little zone rotation there where they're going to send that corner off the edge and rotate that safety over top. And again, you had an opportunity down the sideline if you wanted to make that throw. This was a tougher throw to make because the receiver didn't have that separation that you look for, but great job right there by Laquan Lambert, the rover in that situation, doing an excellent job in coverage.
So McCollum will come and punt it away. Pelletier back deep, the standout receiver, also returning kicks. McCollum's kick, a little short. Pelletier is going to fair catch it, almost bobbles it, but somehow brings it in just short of his own 40-yard line. So the Georgetown defense back on and called on to try and slow down this Mountain Hawks team once again.
Now, if you're Lehigh, this is where I think you want to take your deep shot, your knockout blow, so to speak, in the third quarter. You want to go deep down the field once again until they prove they can stop that deep ball. I will continue to attack this secondary deeper down the field than what we've seen early on in this game. But if you're Georgetown, this is where you want to buckle in and really get pressure and create a turnover, a quick exchange, so to speak, for your offense.
Mays still out there at quarterback as Brisker now in as the running back. Brisker will take it, cuts it up, lunges forward, and gain of around 3 on the play.
Nice little opening run right there. And I like their two backs, man. They kind of are, I hate to use the thunder and lightning phrase, but they kind of are. One has a little bit more juice than the other, but both are really good.
Brisker, the 5'9", 210 sophomore out of Milton, Georgia. He's only rushed for 123 yards in the season coming into this contest. Fake to Brisker. Now this will be batted down, volleyballed in as the Hoyas getting their hands up as we asked and knocking that one to the turf.
And again, their defensive line has done a great job just staying active throughout the game. They played their hearts out. They're going to need a big play here in the secondary. They're going to have to come up with a turnover or something. Get a quick 3 and out because they can't allow Lehigh to sustain this drive and really walk themselves down the field. Good job right there by that defensive line staying active and taking away that short comeback route that he wanted on that play.
Hey, Lockery got a hand on that one to bat it down. Mays takes the wide snap, looking over the middle, and again he's got a man. And he's got a man for a big gain. That's Casey, and he's going to take it the distance. Second touchdown of the game for Gatlin Casey. And Lehigh may have blown this one open.
Yeah, that was the play you wanted. Nice little skinny post right there. And he just outran the secondary to the end zone. So, again, you have a great play on second down, come back on third down and give up the touchdown. That's not what you want if you're Coach Carlotta and that defense that has played well all game.
Just hitting Casey in stride. We told you he came into this game with 8 touchdown catches. That was second in FCS. With his 2 today, he may have gotten close to the lead. I'll have to check our stats. So Mish on to kick this one. We can add to the Lehigh lead. Snap, hold, kick is up, and the kick is good.
Kick is good.
And you mentioned Casey came in 7 touchdowns over the last 3 games, which is impressive. And now he adds 2 today. And just you talk about a guy making a case for All-American campaign. He's definitely doing that with his game today and what he has done so far in the season.
Check this out, Emory. Shevniski still holding as we see a replay of the touchdown here, just right over the middle.
Yeah, he just beat his guy inside, crossed his face, and you expect the safety to close in to squeeze that a little bit, but didn't happen, and you're not going to catch him once he gets a step.
No. Shevniski, who is their listed holder, is still holding despite his injury. So, and now the interesting thing is he didn't run off the field. He kind of walked off the field. So, I don't know, maybe he's the only one they trust to get out there and hold. But interesting to see that he can't play quarterback right now, but he's able to go out and hold.
Coach probably tell him, hey, is your knee hurt or is your ankle? He's like, it's my ankle. Well, you can hold. So, we don't need you to run on this play.
Likely takes the fake field goal out of the equation unless it's the Les Miles bounce it behind your back to the kicker fake field goal. So Mish been a real big part of this game as he's kept the Hoya return game to a minimum. This has been recording touchback after touchback. It's a high kick, but again, it's going to drift Darius back, and he's going to look to bring it out. Kind of stumbled, and he gets hit for his troubles. And I tell you, I don't think that Ellsworth was back there with him, Emory, and I believe Ellsworth probably would have given him the stop sign. Instead, he took it out and didn't make a good play.
Yeah, that's where communication matters on kickoff return. And normally we joke about the guy that tells you to stop, but he needed that on that play because he took a hellacious shot right there in the chops.
So the Hoyas, instead of getting the ball through 25, will scrimmage from their 15-yard line.
Lehigh has taken the crowd completely out of it, and this was a raucous crowd early on. They had their moments, but Lehigh, with their execution, has really taken the home crowd away.
Substitution infraction. Offense, number 80, breaking the huddle with 12 players. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Another unforced error on the Hoyas. They break the huddle with 12 men, so that'll push them back even farther. And maybe more importantly, a 1st and 15 for a team that's struggling converting third downs today. Handoff to Vallis. A little room to run. Still on his feet as he spins out of the tackle. He'll be hit and brought down at the 10-yard line. So after that, ends up with a gain of around 1.
Play had a lot of promise on the onset when you have 2 big offensive linemen coming around the end, and good job by Lehigh's defense for setting that edge and making it very tough for Vallis to break free. But he had the look initially, but just a good job by the defense.
Call it 2nd and 14. Vallis in the backfield as they send Williams in motion. Again, low snap. They'll get it out to him. Some room to run for Williams. Gets by 1 man. He'll be knocked down by the second. Out in the secondary, good play coming up and making the stop, Laquan Lambert.
We've called his name a lot today. Lambert's made a lot of plays for Lehigh.
Lambert, the senior out of Chichester, Pennsylvania. So third, we'll call this one a long 1. The Hoyas look to move the chains. Vallis up the middle. He'll be hit, and I think the officials will give him forward progress across the sticks. Whistle's blowing, I think, just because they moved the chains. It's funny, it's a couple boys, you could see them kind of rolling their heads, thinking something bad had happened. But instead, just blowing the whistle to move the chains. Norris with 4 wides. Rolling out, he's going to take a sack. Coming up, Mark Walker from his linebacker spot to make the play. And the Hoyas again take a big loss all the way back to the 12-yard line.
He's been doing a great job all game long as far as throwing the ball away or getting rid of it. But here, I don't understand why you take the sack in that situation. Get rid of the football, live to play another down. You just backed up your offense after getting a positive, series of plays to get a first down on the last few plays.
So again, a 2nd and long for the Hoyas. As we head under the 3-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. Quick pass to Jessen, who drops it. So nothing going right for the Hoyas right now. After a real good defensive performance early in the game, kept them in it. Lehigh's offense has found its footing while Georgetown's has not.
Yeah, this is frustrating for the coaches because you start to slowly see these mental errors become physical errors and physical mistakes on the field. Drop passes, penalties, busted assignments. That's going to get you beat quickly in college football.
The 3rd very long here. Need to go all the way out to the 35-yard line. Norris spins out, running for his life. They'll just throw this one into the Lehigh bench. And the Hoyas will have to punt it away.
It's a good defensive series right there by Lehigh. And really frustrating Georgetown's offense because you see guys coming off the field, they're hanging their heads. Guys are upset on the sideline, but you're going to need your defense to step up and make a big play and create a turnover. Once again, I know it's easier said than done, especially versus a team like Lehigh that's playing outstanding football. You see here on the replay, just getting pressure, busting through that line was Cavinas, again, having a really good day as a defensive end.
So now Lehigh employing a short man on their punt. That's Cristiano. Colin almost gets blocked again. Pelletier going to let it come up. Almost to the Lehigh player, but just misses him. I believe that player for Lehigh was Devon Bibbins, who almost got hit. You see him kind of cover up and just try and get out of the way the best way he could. But Lehigh still with a 28-3 lead here in the 3rd quarter. And again, the Hoya defense is right back out on the field. Emory, right now, if you're the Hoyas, is there anything you can do? I mean, obviously, you're trying your best on defense. Anything you do kind of get yourself a spark.
You know, I was just sitting here racking my brain on what I do in this situation. It's very tough because, again, you've done all you can do. I guess you just have to come out and say, okay, well, we're just going to have to get extra aggressive and try to send more to dictate the terms on this particular series.
But obviously, such good weapons for this Lehigh team. Mays finds Bragalone. He'll be shoved out of bounds by Yankovic, but not until a gain of 6. And you look at it, you can go through all those progressions, and then you still got this, all-conference back. You can hit for a check down and get you 6 yards.
You got 4 guys you have to worry about defensively if you're Georgetown, not counting the offensive line. That's really good. But you saw right there on that play, getting a lot of pressure up the middle was, once again, Tate. Tate's been playing his butt off today for Georgetown, as he does right here on this particular play for the TFL.
Christian Tate, a 2-yard loss on the play, and boy, has he looked good. You talk about some of the young Hoyas who've been showing out on the defensive end. Paris, also Christian Tate today. A lot of good talent out there and really playing beyond their years.
Yeah, you like the defensive front seven and like the progression that they're making. This is a bright future for Georgetown. You just want them to try to get it going quicker in ball games.
3rd and 5. Mays has some time. Now he's going to run away and finds Bragalone, and he finds him first down yardage. So Bragalone just blocking, and once Mays broke contain, Bragalone just ran out in the pattern and ends up getting the gain to move the sticks.
And that's senior-like patience right there by Brad Mays. He's playing like a guy that has played a lot of football for Lehigh, but this is just a talent he has, and credit to the coaching staff for getting him ready to play.
Mays alongside Bragalone, fakes to him, now quick screen out to Pelletier, breaks one tackle, and he'll end up getting positive yardage as someone got run over on the bench, it looks like, but another nice gain. Lehigh just keeps moving the chains, and we've seen that in some of their games this year. That was one of the things that Princeton said about playing Lehigh, is the fact that just get the ball out so quick, we can never get there.
And what's scary is that Paulson, Pelletier, Casey, Bragalone, and Mays are all underclassmen.
This team could be a force to be reckoned with moving forward in the Patriot League. Handoff, again, patience by Bragalone, and they'll have first down yardage. And again, it's not the most pretty running style, but it's very effective, Emory.
And I'm pretty sure once we check the stats, he'll have 100-something yards rushing on the ground because, again, it's just small bites of the apple, and that's how they wear you down defensively. We've seen a lot of substitutions coming from Georgetown, keeping guys fresh, but that also weakens your depth as far as, like, guys you have out there on the front line. So, they've done a good job offensively as far as, like, switching up the pace and tempo of this game.
We will head to the 4th quarter with Lehigh having a 25-point lead on Georgetown. We're watching Georgetown football on the Patriot League Network on Campus Insiders. Welcome back, over the middle and knocked away, and no penalty flag on the play.
I like how the defense is staying out there competing.
And we see some of the highlights from the 3rd quarter. And you see the long pass that we thought was a completion that wasn't to Casey, and then they would go right back to him and find him for the pass down to the 1. They would punch it in on the very next play. Don Bragalone up the middle for the score that kind of helped break this one open. We'd see another big play coming up later on. And then, of course, as you see in front of you, the Mountain Hawks keeping the chains going. That one would be Casey and Pelletier just on that catch there, a gain of 9 to get it over near the sticks once again.
Yeah, I am so glad I don't have to be a defensive coordinator trying to defend these 4 options that they have on offense. It's very tough to do, which is why they've had a lot of success offensively on the season.
Bragalone, just another simple gain there, 4 on the play to move the sticks once again. And right now, Lehigh just starting to impose their will on the Georgetown defense, who really did yeoman's work in the first half. But Mays, the backup, we know how good he is. He's come in, and the offense has not lost a step. Bragalone up the middle, still on his feet, and he might get in. He gets knocked down just short of the goal line, but you see it, just those subtle moves, Emory, just allows him to elude players on the defense, and now Lehigh going to go quick strike here trying to get in. He'll fake it. Mays up the middle. Mays, he's hit low. Does he get in? I'm going to say he's just short.
That's a good job right there by Mays, just lowering his shoulder and getting close to the end zone. But on the previous play, Bragalone making that first guy miss at the line of scrimmage was a big-time move.
Now they'll hand to Bragalone. He's hit. He lunges forward, though. And they'll say he's down short of the end zone.
Some good pride right here being shown by Georgetown's defense. And can they get the goal line stand? I think that could give their offense a boost as we are into, 2 minutes into the fourth quarter.
So they'll swap up here and bring in the fullback, Mackenzie Crawford. A little more beef. They have the one receiver wide. That's Pelletier against Williamson. A little power shotgun set here. Bragalone comes over. They'll hand it to him. He's hit, but he lunges forward, and he has the touchdown. So, again, we've seen it all game long as Bragalone has done just enough to elude people as the whistles blow. Maybe some extracurriculars after the play, but done just enough to elude guys. And right there had a defender in the hole, just gets by him and threads his way into the end zone for a score.
Yeah, he made that first guy miss. They were back there to make the play, and sometimes a great play is just nullified by a greater play, and Bragalone made a greater play on that one for the touchdown.
So Lehigh flexing their muscles in this one. Again, they had the fantastic performance a few games ago against Colgate. Doing it again against the Georgetown team that's hung in against some very good teams this year. Kick by Mish is up and good.
Kick is good.
That'll make it a 35-3 game with a little under 13 minutes to go in regulation. Check it out again, Emory. Just a nice run again by Bragalone.
Following your fullback to greatness, and just a missed tackle right there by Blaze Brown, who shot the gap on that particular play. Could have made a play in the backfield, but Bragalone once again staying patient, not surprised by guys flashing in front of him, was able to make the play for the touchdown.
And there's the upset as Holy Cross beats Harvard 27-17. You see Yale and Fordham still going, but Fordham again just scoring points. It's what they do. Colgate with the win as well as they bounce back against Bucknell.
Yeah, Fordham is hoping this game ends pretty quickly because the longer they're out there, the longer their defense is being exposed. But they give up a lot of points with their offense with Chase Edmonds, who, in my opinion, should be the front runner for the Walter Payton Award. He's doing an outstanding job. Ran for, 359 yards last week on 17 carries and 4 touchdowns. That's just video game-like. Coming from the tailback.
And talking to their coaching staff at Patriot League Media Day, they said, some a misnomer for us. You got guys like Michael Niebuhr who've played for us, but we're a run offense, and that's one of the reasons that Chase Edmonds is there, and boy, is he a good player. So short kick. Ellsworth's going to take it at his 5. Looking for a seam. And he'll get it out to the 30-yard line, so some good field position for the Hoyas. Well, the first times all game that they haven't had to deal with a touchback, so get it at the 30 where they will scrimmage from there. And at this point, Emory, again, not a comeback, not out of the question, but I think at this point for the Hoyas, you're just looking to go ahead and get something good going on offense, maybe some momentum for next week.
I mean, tell the Houston Oilers that
that's true. That's true.
It was 35-3 at that point too. But you're right; they're just going to have to string together some positive plays and get some momentum going heading into next week.
Of course, Fordham and Lafayette, the next two on the schedule. Norris out to Harrell, and again, good tackling by the Roverback on that one coming up. Laquan Lambert to make the play.
I've been very impressed with Lambert. Again, 6'1", 205, showing great range from sideline to sideline, making plays in space on a consistent basis. He's played an outstanding game for this defense.
Darius into the game now for Georgetown. Bermudez get into the hole and quickly brought down. As that Lehigh defensive front, despite really only playing with 3 down linemen, has been up to the task against the Georgetown run game today.
Yeah, because they're not worried about what's going to happen on a perimeter. If they don't have to worry about the passing game, they can get extra aggressive in their rush responsibilities. They've been gap sound all day long, so they're really just teeing off right now on this offense of Georgetown.
Bermudez did powerlifting in high school, competed in it, varsity sport. Now he'll flop the fullback. Jessen into the game for the Hoyas. Flag down, likely a hold as Norris will come up, gets hit, knocked out of bounds. He's short of the sticks. And there's a hold going to be declined.
Holding, offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty, previous spot. Replay third down.
Why the official went ahead and said it was they were going to accept the penalty.
Now we can call this a hold or a takedown. It depends on which side of the field you're looking at it. But, they ran a nice little twist up front defensively, and the offensive lineman got caught up with his hands inside in the wrong spot and had no choice but to hold on that particular play.
Yeah, the official assessed the penalty without ever checking with the Lehigh bench. So let's see. I guess they are going to move him back. Kind of surprising on a third down. They just wouldn't take the fourth down. That's what it would have been, because he was clearly 4 yards short of the sticks. So need to take the ball out to the 41-yard line for a first down. Norris spins out, trying to keep the play alive. Throws his one looking for Harrell. Would add first down yardage, but just a little bit out in front of him and incomplete.
Yeah, you like the fact that he bought extra time back there in the pocket. And, this is a tough throw to make because you're running away from where you are. You're a right-handed quarterback. You're rolling left. And you want to see him try to put a little bit more arc on that, but tough to do when you're on the move.
Now Cristiano back up. We see the replay, Emory, on this one.
Yeah, you see spin out of pressure. Probably could have set up and got his feet set a little bit more. And you also could expect the receiver to lay out a little bit for that reception. It would have been tough, but you want to see a little bit more effort.
So McCollum on to punt it away again. End over end kick that Cristiano's going to let bounce. He'll look to field it. And he does go down on one knee. Referees made sure before they blew the whistle. So not a bad punting day for McCollum. That's his 7th punt of the game, though. I'm sure Harry would like to punt a little bit less, but obviously when called on, he's done his job today.
He's earned that letter,
So Lehigh will go ahead and keep the starters out there. Starting linemen, starting wide receivers as well, and Mays. So up 32 as Brisker will take it up the middle. Hit and brought down after a gain of around 4 on the play.
And again, what I like about this offense is that it's explosive, but they can control how explosive it can be because they've controlled the tempo, they've controlled the pace, they've dictated the terms in this ball game with their offense, whether that's with Shevniski or Brad Mays. And unfortunately, we only saw a little bit of Shevniski, who was off to a great start, but Mays came in relief and played exceptionally well. So this is a really good offensive showing for Lehigh.
Brisker again up the middle. Breaks into the open, lunges forward, and he'll get first down the yardage on that second effort to take it all the way out near the 45-yard line. And I think it's one of the things, if you're Andy Cohen, you got to be happy about, Emory, is there's no excuses. You've got two good quarterbacks you can win football games with.
I mean, you got two good quarterbacks, two good running backs. You have a tight end that you can utilize. Your offensive line has shown depth in this game. So you have to feel pretty good about what you're bringing to the table offensively. Now, defensively, I've been very impressed with that second level. You see right here, Brisker almost breaking that one a long way, but tripped up as he gained the first down. But I think their defensive back seven is very impressive.
Brisker up the middle for a gain of 2. Brisker out of Georgia. He came into this game with only around 125 yards. Bragalone getting most of the carries, but again, we've got a lot of weapons on this Lehigh team, and I think with this 2-0 start, a lot of people's attention is going to be caught by this Mountain Hawks team. And the way they've played this year against some of the competition they've played against, they got a good chance to maybe do something, maybe get in the playoffs, make some noise. Brisker, second effort as he was hit by Deal and kept moving as the whistle finally blows.
Yeah, I just hope on a national scale, a lot of people start to take seriously the Patriot League. I mean, you got Lehigh that's really good. You have Fordham's offense that's always being talked about. Bucknell strong within the trenches, and you also see Colgate, a team that made a deep run last year in the playoffs. So this is a really strong team, a strong league, top to bottom. Georgetown's defense is very good. So, hopefully on a national scale, people will start to look at the Patriot League and say, hey, this is a power conference in the FCS.
Kislick jumps, and I think this time it will be called on him. Jared Horn on the bench you saw getting taped up, getting his ankle taped. Again, referees talking this one over. We'll wait the referee's announcement.
Offside. Defense, number 1. Causing the offense to react in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, third down.
That's on Kislick. And that'll move it up, or it's going to be a third and long to a third and very manageable, just 3rd and 2.
You see Jelani Williamson on the screen. We haven't heard much from him today after a big game last week versus Princeton.
Seems like they've gone away from him a bit today, choosing to attack the other side. Complete. And first down yardage, and how many times today have we called Derek Knott on a big catch to move the chains? You talk about the two outside guys in Pelletier and Casey, but Knott just as important as that possession guy.
And Knott at 5'9", 175, been doing a lot of the dirty work over the middle of the field. He's been taking some big-time hits, but, again, he's popping right back up, showing he's tough, he's ready to go, and coming back for more.
And it's funny, if you didn't know he was a receiver, he looks like a running back. He's built that way. He's got that 5'9" frame while they have those big, tall receivers outside of him. He's just does his work in the middle of the field. He's done it well today.
Dexter McCluster-like almost.
Handoff. Brisker stays on his feet. Eventually be dragged down by Brown, but not until he takes it inside the 30-yard line down to the 24.
You see a little bit more explosiveness from Brisker than you do Bragalone. Bragalone is kind of the pick and slide runner. Brisker comes in running with an attitude, and you saw him take the defensive back for a ride on that one, just picking his way downhill, making moves constantly going downhill, which is great. Breaking a couple tackles and taking Blaze Brown for a ride.
Backup quarterback into the game, Matt Timochenko for Lehigh. Timochenko, the 6'3", 225-pound junior. He'll take the snap and give it to Brisker. Cuts to the outside, will be banged down just short of the 20-yard line. Matthew Deal into the game. Of course, Deal, a special teams maven, getting some time here on the defensive end. A.J. Schimmelfennig also into the game for the Hoyas.
Yeah, this is the point in the game where you're starting to build your depth and getting guys a lot of reps. You see Carl Thomas in the game. He's not emotional, but he's in the game right now making plays. It's Carl Thomas emotional reference, by the way.
Second, we'll call this one 7. Fake handoff. Hit and slung down is the wide receiver, and Connor Bianchini. Bianchini, a sophomore out of California. New running back in as well, Nana Amunkwa Aye. Had to practice that one a few times last night. Third and 7.
He's from nearby, from Silver Springs, Maryland.
Way up the middle. He'll be sit and brought down after gain of 5. Again, Nana Amunkwa Aye, as you mentioned, out of Silver Spring, went to Bethesda Chevy Chase. BCC, not a football hotbed, but obviously producing a pretty good player in Nana.
And it's good that all of these guys are getting reps, live game reps. This is the one element that you can't simulate in practice. You know, you can come close, but you can't fake live action. And I like that they're getting guys in the situation.
So 4th and 3 here. See if the Hoyas can get a stop. Give their offense one more chance with the ball. Handoff up the middle, pushing forward, and they're going to get the stop. So the Hoyas defense, with a lot of backups out there, comes up with a play as they stop Lehigh, and we'll go back out there on the offensive end.
We'll see what Georgetown does from a depth perspective. As you see Lehigh's upcoming schedule, next week they go to Holy Cross at noon. That's a big game because of the temperature early in the morning out there in Worcester.
Fordham, Bucknell, Lafayette. So Lehigh's got some winnable games there. La Jolla's tough one against Fordham, then Lafayette, Holy Cross, Bucknell for Senior Day. Then they finish it up with Colgate. Could be a very cold one up there in the village of Hamilton, New York. Brock Johnson in as the quarterback. He'll hand off. Bermudez up the middle. Nice run by Christian all the way out across the 35-yard line to the 38.
You talk about powerlifting background. You saw it right there, carrying the tackler for additional yardage. But you talked about going up to Colgate at the end of the season, and yes, that game will be really cold. I was up there in the summertime, and I had long sleeves on, so you know it's going to get cold up there, and you want to see this offense be able to get their ground game going to go up there and compete.
Brock Johnson, the freshman out of California, he'll again hand off to Bermudez, and he will be brought down after no gain on the play. Johnson, freshman they like. Listed at 6'2". He might be a little shorter than that.
Got the sleeves, though, so if you got the sleeves as a quarterback, you always got a shot, you know?
So some backups into the game for the Hoyas, also for the Mountain Hawks on the defensive line. Johnson, quick pass out to Darius, who makes the grab. He gained around 4 on the play, and got a quick release there by Johnson. Pretty definitive.
Getting his first collegiate action, his first collegiate pass and completion. Everything's all good right now for him. You like that, though, a young guy getting out there getting some reps.
And decisive there by Johnson. Need to get it out to the 48-yard line for a first down. Johnson rolls over the middle, complete. And a nice gain all the way out near the 35-yard line as he hooked up with Winston Jackson Jr.
Good grab right there by Winston Jackson Jr. out of North Lauderdale, Florida. Cardinal Gibbons High School, really good program they have going on down there. But good job. First 2 passes, 2 completions for the freshman. Confidence is high. We'll see if they're going to expand his responsibilities a little bit more in this drive.
Yeah, Johnson looking decisive in his work here. Gives it to Bermudez. Nice hole for Christian as he takes it to the 30-yard line. Lehigh did a good job to close that one up, but still a gain of 7.
I like how he runs. He's a natural runner that tends to run behind his pads, good pad level, and you can tell he runs with good pad level because of how he's able to carry guys forward for extra yards because of his power.
Johnson again hands off to Bermudez. He'll be hit and stopped just short of the sticks. So a 3rd and 1. But a little, maybe for the first time today, always get a little rhythm on the offensive end. Again, Bermudez will run it. Again, he'll run over a man and gets inside the 25-yard line.
Yeah, it was a heck of a run right there. And if you're that linebacker, or defensive back Devin Polanis, you kind of want to bring your feet with you. Otherwise, you're going to get bent over like that. But you want to see him come and attack the runner. Don't be the nail, be the hammer in that situation.
Johnson steps up, eludes a man. He'll slide down and avoid the big hit and gets close to the line of scrimmage, lost about a half a yard.
Smart move right there, getting out of harm's way. Almost took off and got some positive yards, but you like his patience back there in the pocket. Wasn't panicky. He was able to get out there and do something positive with it.
Coming up on 45 seconds to go in regulation here. There's Johnson looking at a 2nd and 11. He'll hand it off to Ellsworth up the middle. And Georgetown, we'll see if they run another play. They don't have to, but kind of wonder maybe let the youngster throw one towards the end zone.
Keep that percentage at 100%, young man.
I think right now they'd love to get the points too if they could. So Johnson in the gun. He's going to roll. Looks towards the end zone. Throws this one incomplete as he was trying to find his receiver Jackson on the play. But he drops it. So now, likely the clock would have run out. So now they get their one last chance to hit one towards the end zone. We'll see it here.
And that's unfortunate because that should have been a catch right there by the receiver. Hit him right in the hands. Now he's 2 out of 3, But you're right. Now we get to go to the end zone if you're the coaching staff and see what he can do to make a play.
Johnson, some pressure. He'll throw this one up over the middle. He's got a man, but incomplete and banging into the goalpost. That is not good. That's going to be Michael Darius. He got hit by the defensive player. He's going to get up, so that's good as he gets a hand from Jackson, and that will do it as Lehigh comes to DC, and after some early struggles, comes away with an impressive 35-3 victory over Georgetown. And Emory, we talked about it before, a Georgetown team that has really done a good job of kind of keeping teams in check and scoring with them. Tonight it was Lehigh really getting up early and eventually just kind of blowing things open as they move through.
Yeah, their defense held their own in the first half. I thought they got the stops that they needed. They forced turnovers. They did a great job versus the run. It's just their offense couldn't capitalize, which ended up biting them in the back in the end.
Lehigh beats Georgetown 35-3. We'll have more coming up after this on the Patriot League Network on Campus Insiders. Welcome back to Washington, D.C. Lehigh with an impressive 35-3 win over Georgetown here at Cooper Field today. Emory Mountain Hawks look pretty good, especially late in the game.
Oh, their offense looks outstanding. Again, 4 options, 3 in the passing game, 1 in the backfield, 2 quarterbacks that they can utilize. They're going to be very tough to defend moving forward.
Let's take a look at the highlights from this one. Most of them from the Lehigh side of things as the Mountain Hawks would get it going early. This very good play here as Casey would break a tackle and take it to the house.
Good effort right there, breaking a couple tackles and then showing the speed and elusiveness to outrun the rest of the defense for the touchdown.
But we would see the Hoyas get some interceptions. Had one that was overturned, but Javion Butler would make a play right there.
He's been playing like a man possessed all season long. The best defensive player they have on this football team.
Big play there to keep the Hoyas in it, keep Lehigh off the board, but eventually the Mountain Hawks would start wearing the Hoyas down just a little bit. Big play here on a third down where Brad Mays, the backup into the game, gets a big play to keep the chains moving, eventually leading to a pass to the other wide receiver, Troy Pelletier.
That was a great strike right there. Good contested catch by Pelletier. And this is right here, the punt return where Georgetown got back on the positive side of plays and made some things happen, getting this football inside the red zone.
Michael Darius with a big punt return. They got down close, missed a chance on a Buckman touchdown pass, instead had to settle for the field goal, and Lehigh would make them pay as later on they would go ahead, get some completions. Big game today by Derek Knott to keep the chains moving. Then they would go ahead, almost had another score, but a good play. Christian Tate stand out on the defensive line, gets the tip. Kislick with the interception, so it kept it as a 14-3 game at the half. Hoyas looking like they'd be okay as they were getting the second half kickoff. But in the second half, Lehigh, we would see it here as it would be a drop pass. The referees would call it a good catch, overturn, but Lehigh would go right back to the well and find Casey again.
Just a great play design to get the one-on-one coverage that they like, and it ended up being a big play on that fourth down. That was a huge play in the game.
And Bragalone would take it up the middle and score and extend out the lead. Then you would see the Lehigh kind of go with the kill shot right there as they would go ahead and find the long pass again, taking it all the way. It was Casey for another touchdown catch and putting Lehigh up big. And then later on, you'd see Bragalone showing those moves, just inches his way in for the touchdown.
They're just slowly moving his way downfield, and is a guy that's not flashy but gets the job done.
And then you'd see Brock Johnson come off the bench in the waning seconds and look okay. So the freshman getting a chance to play a little bit, and we would see him try to go deep on the last play of the game, and almost a spectacular catch by Darius. Ends up getting pushed into the goalpost there, but looked like he was okay. You see the stats in this one, and obviously all Lehigh.
Yeah, no turnovers by Georgetown, and the fact that they couldn't convert those 2 turnovers they forced from Lehigh into points ultimately doomed them in.
Yeah, and obviously you see the passing yardage, the rushing yardage as well. Lehigh's got that offense humming after some early sputters today. They were able to go ahead and really take this one and take control of it and move to 5-2 on the year, while the Hoyas fall to 3-3. Well, that's going to do it for us here from Washington, D.C. For our entire crew and my partner, Emory Hunt, I'm Jeremy Huber. Your final score from the nation's capital, Lehigh beats Georgetown 35-3. Good afternoon, everybody.